Street Champs.
Oh, we
Champs,
don't even have to do the clap.
Episode 19.
Boom. Let's hit it.
You're now listening to Sport Champs.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another Sport Champs live on Saturday, dude. On a UFC pay-per-view Saturday. UFC 281. I got my man Dave to my right.
In the cut.
I got my man Winston in the real cut.
Looking cut. The fuck? Making me have to step my sauce up, bro.
You do look saucy today.
Wearing sweats, you know.
Oh yeah.
Typical Saturday.
We got Deryk with the waffles in the back. This guy's over here waffling it up, dude.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Donkey out
in
here,
the morning, I'm making waffles.
Exactly.
I showed up and he didn't have one pre-made for me. Fucked up, if you ask me. But whatever. You know, we're here to talk about sports, not waffles. You know.
So the reason we are live today, ladies and gentlemen, is because my ass got sick and had to miss a day of work, and then I got to make it up. So I had to work Friday, our typical film day. So for all y'all caught off guard, I'm sorry.
It's this guy. It's his fault.
It'd be
I'm
like
sorry,
that
you guys. I'm sorry.
Thank you guys for postponing the pod for me, though.
We appreciate it. We cannot see the chat, but feel free to interact. Feel free to subscribe. Rick G, your host here. And let's just, right off the top, get on this.
Now it's time to talk MMA.
We going to dive in.
Let's just dive right into UFC 281. Let's honestly go over the last card first, but let's just get going on that. Let me type this in real quick. Boom.
Who fought last week?
So last week it was supposed to be Bryce Mitchell-Evelev. That shit did not happen, so it ended up changing to Marina Rodriguez versus Amanda Lemos. Let's just quickly go through this card real quick. All right, so we're starting on these prelims right here. This is a woman bantamweight bout. We had Tamiris Vidal getting the knockout TKO against Ramona Pascual. That was in the first round, 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Right after that, we had Jake Hadley in the flyweight division submitting Carlos Candelero in the second round, 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Right after that, we had Johnny Munoz winning a decision against Ludovic Sholinian. And then this one was actually going around the highlight. I don't know if any of you guys seen this. We had a first round 47-second knockout. Poliana Viana knocking out Jin Frey. You were liking her last week, Jin Frey.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I believe you.
Yes. Right after that, we had Mario Bautista getting a submission win over Benito Lopez. And then we had the one, Miranda Maverick, getting the decision win over Shayna Young, winning the first leg of our parlay.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Right after that, all right, we're getting right into the main card. Bryce Mitchell was supposed to be on this. Jelton Almeida was supposed to be on this. Chase Sherman was supposed to be on this. We had 3 canceled bouts. But going on, we had Grant Dawson getting a submission win in the lightweight division against Mark Madsen. We had Tagir Ulanbekov winning a submission in the first round against Nathan Manus. Then we had, which we should talk about a little bit, the Minner situation. We had a KO TKO in the first round, 1 minute and 7 seconds. Shah Yalan taking out Deryk Minner via injury, pretty much, right? Isn't that right, Dave?
Yeah, well, I'm scrolling to try to find
He's trying to find this article. Let's just go right on to the co-main, though. Neil Magny getting the submission win against Daniel Rodriguez in the third round.
All right, I found the article.
Your man Magny did it.
The winningest welterweight in UFC history.
Let's go, dude.
Now, first of all, I'm a huge homer for him because he fights out of Denver. So shout out Neil Magny, Elevation Fight Team.
Shout out Neil Magny.
Bunch of dogs. But Neil Magny, when they asked him about that in the post-fight interview, they're like, hey, you're the winningest, whatever. And he straight up was just honest and humble and just, he's such a likable guy because he straight up said, he's just I'm not George. Let's not get it twisted. But that's when he retires, until someone takes that crown from him, he can know that he put in the greatest volume, not greatest in terms of diversity, but greatest volume of work in terms of wins at his, in the highest level in the greatest organization in fighting.
Right? Doing the damnest, dude. 27-10. Taking out tough customer Daniel Rodriguez, dude.
Yeah.
Doing the damn thing.
This is after Daniel Rodriguez fought, what's his name, at the mixed weight bout, whatever. After the mix-up.
After
the whole
mix-up.
Hamzat mix-up. So.
Yep. Took him out after that. But let's get on this main event because, man, Amanda Lemos does it again.
Yeah.
Dude, a lot of people aren't really talking about her reign that she's actually putting on this year. It's pretty impressive, man. It's pretty impressive. Let's go over her reign in the UFC a little bit. Amanda Lemos taking out Marina Rodriguez, KO TKO in the third round, 54 seconds. She's now 13-2 and 1. And now Marina's 16-2. A lot of people had Marina Rodriguez for that one too.
Yeah, I did.
A lot of people did, man. I didn't really have a pick. I think I said last week, but Winston knew Amanda Lemos was going to win.
I did.
He says I did.
I watched a lot of film, you know what I mean? And so I just had a gut feeling.
Facts, dude. Facts. And let's go over this, just like I said. Let's go over her reign a little bit. KO TKO Marina Rodriguez. Submission of Michelle Watterson. Submission. Oh, she actually lost a submission from Jessica Andrade, though. But before that, she's getting decision wins over Angela Hill. Knockout of Montserrat Ruiz. Knockout of Livia Renata Souza. And a decision win over Mizuki Ino. She's doing the damn thing, dude. A submission win over Miranda Granger. She did get KO'd by Leslie Smith, though, back in 2017. But doing the damn thing and deserves a title shot in the strawweight division, if you ask me. But let's go over this next card, though. Now I'm excited.
Do you want me
now
to?
I'm way more excited.
Do you want me to like read that Deryk Minner shit real quick?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. See, sorry, I was kind of going over that shit, kind of.
So this is
So this is the third from last week.
So this is according this particular article was referenced from MMA Fight Night Live on Facebook. I'm not too familiar with the platform, but I've seen a lot of their suggested posts. Oh my god, I got the burps.
Good, dude.
So it says breaking: the UFC fight on Saturday between Deryk Minner and Shailan. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's like Noor Dan Beek. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It says, which ended abruptly in the first round, is being investigated by the U.S. betting integrity firm after several sportsbooks in multiple states reported suspicious wagering. On Saturday, the rumor circulating among bettors is that Minner was injured going into the fight, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, so Shailan, odds to win moved from a negative 220 to a negative 420 in the 4 hours before the fight.
That's fucking huge.
Yeah, that's insane. So it says bettors were convinced that not only would Shailan win, but he would do so in the first round. Money poured in the favorite to win by knockout in the first round, and for the fight to last fewer than 2.5, promoting some sportsbooks to take the fight off the board.
Damn.
And who is Minner's coach? James Krause,
The betting guy.
a known sport bettor who hosts the 1% Club podcast, a popular Discord channel that features his betting tips.
Oh, yikes, dude. Did you hear that, Winston?
No, I was fixing the title. It said Street Champs and not Sport Champs.
God damn it, that was my bad.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Good fix, dude. Good catch.
Dave caught it.
I caught it. I checked.
Did you?
I was checking the comments just to see, and it said Street Champs. So I was just like, we gotta fix this.
So they took
good.
it off the books because...
So basically, here's what happened. Shailan was going up against Deryk Minner. Insider information spread throughout his camp that Minner was hurt, and so right before the fight, so the odds for Shailan to win went from minus 220 to minus 420.
Yeah.
And that's significant
That's
of a jump.
huge.
A lot of books said we're not touching that. We're not letting people bet on that. So they took it off the books.
Okay.
Because there's a gambling commission that goes over all this shit.
Yeah.
And a big one thing that's really concerning, like a conflict of interest, is his head coach had allegedly gave the tip to bet against him because he was injured, which is conflict of interest because
What the fuck?
Yeah, so they're investigating either if it was a insider. I'm assuming they're investigating if it was insider information on the wagering behalf, like if James Krause had like leaked information that compromised the integrity of regular betting because he's his head coach. That's information that only he would have. Or like I really would not like to assume that Deryk Minner went in there and intentionally didn't win a fight. But
I doubt that.
I so verily doubt that. I think this is more so James Krause who's going to be the investigatee. But the fact that homie was injured, he didn't want to follow the fight, so he wanted his fight purse. That's how he feeds his family. I'm not mad at that whatsoever. But if your podcast guru coach is telling everybody you're hurt and the odds are taking it off the books because 4 hours before the fight news is leaking, like that's really fucking sus.
Yeah, how much
That's
did he
sus
bet?
as
Do we
fuck,
know how
dude.
much he bet?
No idea. But the
I
fact
know
that
he has like an 80% success rate, like with his betting app or betting
He has a
group in
Discord.
Discord.
Yeah. But I mean, he's also like a MMA like
He's really good.
coach.
Yeah, he's
so
really
like
good.
he knows the in and outs of that shit.
See,
Just
this
like
is what we're
Jacoby.
talking about when we were talking
so
about that new
specific.
role. This is what they're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
You know, fuck. I wish I heard about
Didn't
that.
they
news,
ban
dude.
all fighters, all fighters from betting on fights recently?
Yeah, every UFC fighter
Cannot
bet on any UFC fight ever. Now.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
That makes sense. I mean,
With all this shit going on, yeah, I'm down with that.
This reminds me of that like Netflix series where that ref was like inside trade or not inside trading. He was like betting because he knew like he would go in locker rooms and ask other refs like, "Hey, who's hurt tonight?" And then he would go like tell whoever was hurt, so they would bet the under or the over based on that information.
Yeah.
And so
He got suspended.
Yeah, and I feel like he like not to go too deep into that. I feel like he was just the guy on the hot seat. I feel like a lot of refs were doing it. He was the only one who got like egregiously caught.
Yeah.
But that being said, like I just don't want this type of shit to like bleed into MMA in any capacity. I don't bet, but I plan on betting on tonight.
Yeah,
So,
we're building a nice bet
So,
tonight.
like,
I'm gonna yeah.
so all these things considered, like these little tidbits really hurt the ethos to betting. If you're someone like me who hasn't like trusted betting, not because I think they're gonna take my money and run. I'm superstitious about losing my money. So
Yeah.
this shit is just kind of like it just sus. They're gonna have to extend that rule to anyone who's adjacent to UFC. Like if you're a coach in any capacity, you can't bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's sus. I mean, and they're always gonna get around it. They could just put money on
Their buddy's phone. Easy.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Their
a big
wife,
deal.
like, nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They could tell someone, be like, "Hey, put this money on here."
Or you can get a burner. You just
Exactly.
literally go buy a burner, and then
Regardless.
Express VPN. Like there's ways around it. There's
Yeah.
ways around.
So
it.
we'll keep you guys posted if any information like arises from that. If like they determine via court case
Doesn't look
anything
good.
happens, but my honest bet is James Krause is probably going to lose his platform for betting, and or he's just going to lose the like. I don't know how that would work if he
don't know how
can't
that
bet, but
works.
he can advise betting. But he just demonstrated some type of like insider information betting type shit. So I don't
Yeah.
fucking know how that works. The SEC or whoever the betting, I don't know who's responsible for betting integrity, but that shit's weird.
yeah. Yikes, dude.
Yeah.
Moving on though.
Moving on though, dude.
We got a banger in a couple of hours.
Yeah,
guys.
actually, a couple of hours from this streaming
As you're-
right now, as you're watching it,
Yes.
we have UFC 281 in the cut, man, and this is a deep, fat card. This starts at 4 p.m. Eastern today, or 4 p.m. Mountain Time today, excuse me. And we got an early prelims, we got a preliminary card, and a main card. A lot of good names on this one. You guys do not want to miss this UFC card. No, I do not work for the UFC. I just really fucking love the sport.
It'd be tits to work for the UFC.
It would be tits as fuck. Tits as fuck. Winston would dig it. Winston, I want you looking at these lines as I'm reading off these this card, man.
These odds, player.
Yeah, read off these odds for
doing
me as we're going
prelims
through.
first,
So we're
or
going
what?
all the way early prelims, the earliest prelims we can.
Okay.
The first fight on it is a light heavyweight bout. Carlos Olberg, 7-1, taking on Nikolai Negumereanu, and Negumereanu. That's a U. 13-1, Nikolai, and we have a 7-1 Carlos Olberg. One Carlos Olberg that is coming in under City Kickboxing, one of the 4 CKB boys fighting tonight, and he's one of the first fights. I got him winning. I'm assuming he's going to be at least a minus 300. But he has a tough customer in front of him, so we'll see what happens. He's lost before, but again, City Kickboxing has gotten a real kick in their ass by their coach recently, and I really think that's going to translate. I would like to see a CKB because there's 4 City Kickboxing guys from New Zealand fighting on the card tonight.
Yes, sir.
You can parlay all of them up, and it's like a plus. Right, I mean, like in the middle of the week, it was like a plus 839.
There's a certain
You
one.
do
that-
all 4 of them.
There's one I wouldn't parlay, but we'll get to him when we get to
Yeah,
his
we'll
mouth.
get. Yeah, I know who you're talking about too.
So Carlos is a minus 130.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's way closer than I thought. Let's look at Nikolai. Let's look at Nikolai's. Let's see what he's doing, man. So Nikolai has 3 fights in the UFC. His last fight, he knocked out Ihor Poteria.
They're 205ers, right?
These are light heavyweights. Yep.
Yeah, at 205, man.
Anything can happen. He's undefeated in the UFC. He took out Kennedy Njoku.
Njokuani?
No, I was
Oh.
gonna say Njokuani, but it's not him. It's Kennedy Nzeku.
Oh, okay.
And he knocked out Ihor Poteria in the second round. So this guy is undefeated in the UFC. I believe Carlos is not undefeated in the UFC. Let's look him up. Carlos has a knockout over Tafon Njoukui and a decision win over Fabio Tarrant. But he got knocked out by Kennedy Njoukui, the dude that got knocked out by the other guy.
MMA math.
MMA math does not work, does it? But I still do have Carlos Ulberg. I'm going to be riding with him. I would pick him up at the -130. That's a great odd, if you ask me. Carlos Ulberg getting a nice kick in his ass from his coach,
It might
Eugene Behrman.
At 205 as well. I think like we've always preached that at the heavyweight, like it's pretty safe if you're going to do a parlay to throw a heavyweight bout, like not going the distance for the anticipation.
Definitely, maybe this. Yeah,
205ers.
What is that? What's this fight not to go the distance? Carlos Ulberg and Nicolay.
I feel like that's a safe parlay edition.
-240.
That's a nice parlay edition. I don't know how I would want to do that though, because it's so early. Imagine killing our parlay on the first fight.
No, this would be a chump change parlay. It would be one of many.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I would honestly. I'm gonna probably save that for a later bet. All right, let's go on to the fight right after that bantamweight fight: Julio Arce versus Montel Jackson. Montel Jackson, that's 11-2. Julio Arce 18-5. What are these guys sitting at? This is probably a close one too.
We got Julio at +160, and then Montel at -210.
Wow. Okay. -210 for Montel Jackson. That's one Montel Jackson, age 30. He hasn't fought this year in the UFC, but he has 2 fights in 2021, both wins. One decision win over JP Buys, then one knockout win over Jesse Strader. He's been fighting in the UFC since 2018. Two fights in 2020, 1 loss, 1 win. 2019, 1 win. And 2018, he submitted Brian Kelleher, but then lost a decision to Ricky Simone. So Montel Jackson, the favorite on this one. Then we got Julio Arce doing the damn thing. Oh.
You good?
Later, yo. All right, let's get back into it. We got Mike Trezano, this is a featherweight fight. Mike Trezano taking on Chu Sang-woo.
Where does Trezano fight out of? He sounds like he fights out of the same camp as like Matt Serra and all them. I'm just judging because that's an Italian-sounding name.
He
Maybe
won the
that's...
Ultimate Fighter.
He sounds mad familiar.
Damn, why do I have to look for this shit?
It's not that important. I just feel like
I'll look.
he sounds like one of those, like he's fighting out of like Aljo's camp.
Just gotta figure it out.
If I had to pick
Affiliation: Tiger Schulman's Mixed Martial Arts.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
He's fighting out of Ramsey, New Jersey.
It's close.
It's close.
close.
He probably messes with those guys. You know what I mean? But Mike Trezano coming off of a knockout loss from Lucas Almeida.
Ooh.
That was in June. But he also came off a loss from Hakeem Dawodo, a decision loss before that. 2 losses, and last year won a decision against Ludovic Klein. Chu Sang-woo, though. This kid's looking pretty good, dude. I've been hearing a little bit about this guy. What are these odds sitting at, Mr. Win?
Michael, we got +144, and then Wu, we got -178.
It's close as fuck.
Close as fuck. All these fights are pretty
They're close as
dude.
fuck. It's gonna be hard to bet, dude. But it's gonna be fun to bet, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing tonight? Are you watching the fights tonight? What's your plans for tonight?
I think I'm just chilling. I don't know.
Trying to come to watch them?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, let's vibe, dude.
Yeah.
Because I fucking plan on having him over if you want to come watch him with us.
Okay.
We'll be going crazy over bets and shit.
All right.
Sang-woo Choi, man, coming out of Korea, born in '92. Young guy. He has a decision loss over Joshua Kulibao. That was in June. Both of these guys have losses in June.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, it'd just be like that. He got submitted by Alex Caceres last year, got knocked out by Julian Erosa last year, and then has a decision win against Yusuf Zalal. Damn, that's crazy to me. How are you going to get submitted by Alex Caceres, knocked out by Erosa, and then win against Yusuf Zalal?
Yeah.
Yusuf Zalal's very good. I feel like UFC fed Choi to Yusuf, and he won. And they were like, what? Damn. Both of these guys kind of coming off losses, man. I don't really...
They're fighting
I
for their
thought
contracts.
Choi was on more of a tear than that, to be honest. I don't really know who to go for this one. But you know who I can go to? My trusty steed over here, Winston. Who you got for this one,
I
dude?
mean, I got Wu, dude. You know what I mean?
Anybody named Wu, dude.
Last time I got Wu and she lost. So
and then kicked out of the UFC. But
Yeah.
that was Wu with a W-U. This is Wu with 2 O's.
exactly. I think this is the better spelling, so I think it's the better fighter. You know what I mean?
And it's Sang Wu.
Exactly.
It's a double.
And
I
seriously,
like it, dude.
Sang in Wu.
Sang Wu
She's,
Choi.
You know,
Sang Wu Choi, Sang Wu. I'm riding with Sang Wu too. Mike Trezano might have the camp, but I'm gonna be riding with Winston on this one, man. I got Choi, Sang Wu. I've been hearing very highly of him from one of my bet guys that I follow. And right after that fight, we have look who's back. We have a women's strawweight fight. Karolina Kowalkiewicz is what I like to say, but it's Kovacevic.
I love her.
And she's fighting Silvana Gomez Juarez. I think Silvana's the not the underdog, the favorite.
Dude, it's
I don't know why I couldn't think of that.
It's a toss up.
Really?
Minus 108, minus 112. It doesn't get closer
Holy
than that.
Shit.
It doesn't get closer.
All right, let's see who we're gonna try and pick off of that though. God damn. All right, we have Karolina Kovacevic getting a submission win over Felice Herrig. Very good fight. That was this year.
That resurged her career.
It did. It resurged her career. That was in June. In 2021, she got submitted by Jessica Penne. In 2020, she lost a decision against Yan Xiaonan. She's fighting murderers, though. I'm not going to lie. And then she lost a decision against Alexa Grasso, lost a decision against Michelle Watterson in 2019, got knocked out by Jessica Andrade in 2018, and then won a decision against Felisa Herrig in 2018. So, man, she is fighting one Silvana Gomez Juarez, which is a tough customer. I honestly would think I would pick Silvana in this one. Because we got Silvana coming off of a knockout win over Liang Na. That was in June. But she did get submitted by Vanessa Demopoulos in January of this year. Damn. So, and that was her only 2 fights in the UFC. This is kind of a hard pick, to be honest.
It's a toss-up.
It's a
bro.
toss-up. I don't know
literally.
too much about these ladies. I kind of want to check out Silvana's Tapology. They're going to have a little bit more information on that. Let's see what we could get out of that. Not on Tapology. Cool. All right. Well,
Sick.
sweet. Well, honestly, she's coming off of a knockout win over one Liang Na, who's 19-6. That was in the first round. She obviously has some good power. She might not be good on the ground, though. She's getting submitted by Vanessa Demopoulos. And Carolina's really good on the ground. You know what? I'm going with Carolina. Walkawicks.
They should call her Carolina Reaper.
Ooh, that's pretty good, dude. I like it.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That is pretty good. Who you going with, Winston?
I'm probably going to go with Juarez.
Damn. All right, me versus Winston.
I like how you just
We should do a gentleman's bet. You want a gentleman's bet, dude?
No.
Damn.
I like how Winston just chose the name he could pronounce.
I like how you just said no.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not even betting
He's like,
anything.
he's like
all no.
Koa. I'll take the other one, Juarez.
Yeah.
It's Koa.
Which one can I pronounce?
Yeah.
Wu? Okay, I'm going with that one.
Least syllables possible.
Fucking guy, dude. This guy's crazy. Someone come get this guy. All right, let me go back to these fights real quick. I was hitting through tabs. All right, we are back on these early prelims, dude.
Surprising
Wait,
that Carolina, a former title challenger, is on a prelim.
Yeah,
But
man.
it's because it's the run.
It's what happens sometimes.
You're only
man.
as good as your last fight, and she won her last fight, so here we are.
Here we are, and she's on at least the top of the early prelims.
Yeah.
And then I can't believe this is today. Oh, I'm so excited, man. This card. I'm like, move everything, shuffle everything around, you know. All right, we got Matt Frivola taking on Otman Azatar.
Something like that. I'm not too familiar with him, but this fight, they look game. Like the weigh-ins and shit, they look ready.
Yep, they look ready. Otman, and he's undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Undefeated. Otman Azatar taking on Matt Frivola, dude. Matt Frivola, I know Matt Frivola. I've watched him fight a few times. He's sitting at 9-3-1. Whew, I don't really. What are the odds on this one? This is close as fuck too, huh?
Matt is plus 124, and then Ottman is minus 152.
That's almost a coin
What the
flip.
fuck,
Exactly,
dude?
All of these are close as fuck when it comes to Vegas.
Yo, whoever's making their parlays, and if their parlays hit this week,
Yeah.
they're gonna be making. Yo, I'm gonna be making some parlays this week. I'm gonna be making a lot of parlays before the fights this week. All right. We're going to make one here, too. Stick around,
Yeah.
guys. Stick around. I'm going to stick with the undefeated fighter. We got Otman Azatar. He does not have a fight in the UFC, though.
Okay.
This is his debut, his UFC debut. Matt Frivola has fought in the UFC, though. He's coming off a knockout win against Gennaro Valdez in January. Earlier this year, he did get knocked out by one Terrence McKinney last year and did lose a decision win against Arman Sharzoukian.
If your name's not Drew Dober, you got knocked out by Terrence McKinney.
Facts, dude. I don't know how Drew Dober did it. He's a fucking
He
beast.
looks like a running back of a man.
He just endured the storm and then fucking took him out of there.
He's a dog.
He's a dog. Drew Dober's a fucking dog. I had Terrence McKinney in that, too.
I feel like if they ran that fight back,
I think
maybe
Terrence
McKinney,
would, yeah.
He'd just be sharp. He wouldn't engage in the phone book moments.
He gassed himself out.
phone booth.
The phone
Just
book.
hits him with a fucking phone book.
All right, let's get on to these prelims. Andre Petrosky taking on Wellington Turman.
That's a hell of a name, Wellington.
Wellington Turman.
Is he British?
Let's check. Wellington Turman won 18-5, 26, 6 foot tall.
Did you say 1-18-5?
18-5.
Oh, I was
sorry.
about to say like
18-5.
He's got like 18 losses and 5 draws. God damn.
Yo, why is this guy in
God
the UFC?
damn. But no, that's crazy.
This is one Wellington Turman coming off a submission win over Misha Serkinov in February.
That sounds mad familiar.
Misha Serkinov is on a very bad skid right now.
Poor dude.
Yeah,
But
very
anyway.
bad skid. But anyway, Mr. Wellington, that was his only fight in the
Mr. Beef.
In this,
Mr. Beef.
Mr. Beef, dude.
Beef Wellington.
I like it. He does have a decision win over Sam Alvey, who doesn't.
God.
Bruno Silva did knock out Wellington, though. Bruno Silva is one fucking beast of a man. That was last year, January. He did get knocked out by Andrew Sanchez in 2020 as well.
Damn.
So he's been knocked out a few times, a few decision losses from Carl Robertson, and then he has one win over Marcus Perez in 2019 via decision. He's taking on one Andre Petrosky, who's 8-2, a new cat into the UFC. Again, only one fight. Oh, wait, no. I'm tripping. He's fought a lot this year. Holy shit. Oh, wait, no, he hasn't. I don't know why they're not breaking it over the year. That's weird. They broke everybody else's over the year online, but this guy's like just all one list. So in 2021, August 28th, he knocked out Michael Gilmore. Michael Gilmore sounds like someone that would get knocked out. I'm just kidding. It was a joke. I'm sorry. Then we had Andre Petrosky getting a submission win over Yo Zong Hu. Then we had Andrew Petrosky getting a submission win over Nick Maximov, and now he's fighting Wellington Turman.
Nice.
I got Andre Petrosky for this one.
Same.
And I got Andre Petrosky before the decision. Guaranteed he's taking him out of there. Just judging off of these fights right here and Wellington getting finished before, I really see Andre Petrosky taking this one out. What is this odd sitting at?
So the odds for Andre to win is -192, and then Wellington is plus 154. Will the fight go the distance? That's minus 280 to not go the distance.
Yo, these are good odds. I'm literally betting a good amount on Petrosky. I might eat my words, but with those odds, oh man, I'm picking up Petrosky. Honestly, I might just do a lot of money line bets.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea with the odds on
Really,
this
with
card.
the odds on this
the
card,
odds.
why would you not mess with the money lines?
Yeah.
You could make a parlay or 2 parlays where, like, I don't know if for
You could
betting
do
us-
2-leg parlays
No, I'm
and
saying-
make some fucking money.
No, I'm saying you could do like a parlay where you have like all of one set of fighters winning and all of another set of fighters winning, and your earning potential is going to be really similar.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is going to be awesome. This is going to be fun tonight, boys. This is going to be fun tonight. All right. I'm going back. Let's get to the fight right after that. Aaron Blanchfield taking on Molly McCann. One Meatball Molly McCann on the prelims, man. Taking on one Aaron Blanchfield, 9-1.
Another Molly McCann and no Patty.
No Patty. I know, man. I like seeing them together, but I kind of like them flourishing outside of each other. You know what I mean? Like, because you're going to have to. You can't be together the whole time. So, you know, one Molly McCann. She's actually the underdog.
I
If
think-
I'm not, am I correct?
is.
She's the underdog, bro.
Yeah. Molly is plus 310.
Can we all mutually agree? Can we
She's
all,
coming off of 2 knockout wins. I mean,
Can we all mutually agree that we're like 100% team Meatball?
fuck yeah. 100% Team Meatball. She knocked out Hannah Goldie. She knocked out Luana Carolina. Same motherfucking strike, pretty much, dude. Spinning back elbow. But she did lose a decision against Lara Procopio. That was in February last year. And then in September last year, she did win a decision over Ji Yoon Kim. But this is one Molly McCann that did lose a decision against Tyler Santos in 2020 and did lose a decision against Ariana Lipsky in 2019. But she has 2 decision wins over Diana Belbita and a ghost person because this name is not popping up at all. Look at that. You ever seen that before? It's just blank. She's a win over God. Like
she beat someone who was whoever she beat was 12-4, so I guess her demons were 12-4 going into that one.
Yeah. Yep. So Molly McCann getting a decision win over her demons. She dropped 110 strikes out of 200 on her demons.
She faded those demons.
Dude, she was dodging her demon strikes. Her demons only landed 77 out of 238. It's a terrible percentage, 32%. That's not terrible.
I think she just killed her opponent, and so they just don't. She just deleted them.
So that's why you want to put your money on Molly McCann, because she's an underdog and she's gonna fucking do it. She's riding a train all the way up to the fucking moon, and I'm putting my money on Molly McCann. But she's fighting one Erin Blanchfield that submitted JJ Aldrich. Has a decision win over our girl Miranda Maverick.
Okay.
You know,
she was a heavy favorite last week.
She was the heaviest.
Yeah.
She's staying the heaviest right now because she's on a tear right now. Miranda's on a tear right now. But this is one Erin Blanchfield that took out Sarah Alper by decision as well. That was in 2021 in September. She's coming off of 3 wins, 2 decisions, and 1 submission. It's going to be a tough fight for Molly McCann because guess what Erin Blanchfield's going to do? Take her down.
Yep.
Take her down, try and submit her, try and grind her out. Can Molly get back up, and can Molly land that spinning back elbow again is the question. Or just any strike, really. But if Molly lands that spinning back elbow again, and just no one has answers for the spinning back elbow Molly McCann.
If she lands another spinning back elbow, her next fight, the spinning back elbow finish will probably be like a plus 110 odds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. So, hey, I mean, throw a little change on Molly McCann, man. She's going to fucking... What did you say? Plus 310?
Plus 310.
That's like, what, 6-1? Or what is that? No, that's like... It's a little bit less.
So if you bet $1, you'd win $3.10.
Okay, so 3-1. I like it.
So
I don't know how I doubled that.
Method of victory is Erin by points, minus 110.
Oh, yeah. That's how I see it kind of happening.
Erin by submission is
I kind of think Erin's
380.
going to just shut down Molly, make it a kind of a boring grind out, fight. I kind of see
Who
that
knows?
happening.
They're going to be at Madison Square Garden.
Molly is going to be
yelling for the
on
meatball.
the fuck... Dude. Come on, Molly. You got this shit, girl.
To go the distance is minus 168.
Wow.
To not go the distance is 134.
Honestly, fuck going the distance on this fight. I think we should bet on not going the distance on this next fight, because the fight right after that is a light heavyweight bout. Dominic Reyes taking on Ryan Spann.
Oh,
I feel like what is that odd for not to go the distance for this next one?
Dominic Reyes is minus 225. Ryan is
Wow.
plus 180.
Wow.
To not go the distance is minus 400.
See?
Oh yeah.
See?
That's a nice parlay piece to be for sure.
Think
but
about
it kind of
Reyes.
scares me. That prop kind of scares me because I could see Reyes kind of
being conservative.
He's a big favorite, man. Ryan Spann's a fucking goon. I don't know why Dominic's that big of a favorite. This is Ryan Spann coming off of a submission win on Ion Cutelaba this year. He did get submitted by Anthony Smith, and he did get knocked out by Misha Serkinov, though.
So
Last year he had a bad year last year.
So Dominic Reyes hasn't fought, if I'm not mistaken, in like 2 years, but his last 3 bouts were all losses in this order. He lost to Yuri via devastating spinning strike. He lost to Jan for the title, and then he lost to John Jones in a controversial decision where some think he won.
Fucking murderers.
So like, to have those be your last 3 opponents and to have 3 L's, you have nothing like that. If that convinces you to stop, stop trying, then like you're at the cusp of greatness, bro. And you're fighting 205ers. Every single bout, you are 1 jab away from winning that fight.
Yeah, facts.
So like, I'm rooting for Dominic Reyes because
I want Dom to win.
He's
too.
such a I don't have anything.
It's scary
bad.
though, man. He's taking on Ryan Spann.
He took
Superman.
2 years off for his
Took 2 years
his
off.
head health as well as everything else. So like, I think he's gonna go in there very determined, but he's more conscious now than ever in his entire career of the durability of his chin. And so
And Ryan Spann had a bad year last year.
But Reyes is
not get
also very, very capable on the ground. He's such a good athlete. He might fucking just try to like bully him to the cage and then just like try to just lean on him and take him down and like, control him. Because I think Dominic Reyes is more than capable of that. He got so enamored by the fact that he was baptizing homies with his hands that he was like, oh, I got hands now. Like, so I don't know what the outcome's gonna be, but I think he's gonna win as long as he plays it smart and doesn't engage. He's gonna win. But he could be like another like Luke Rockhold scenario where you're just uber fucking talented, but your jaw just won't allow you to stay.
Just won't let you keep it up. Yeah,
that's the worst thing. Like same thing happened to Chuck Liddell, man.
Yeah, you're right, man. Chuck just getting touched and he was going down, man.
I would not touch the not going the distance bet though. Just because of how
I wouldn't touch it either.
How large that is.
It's a very big bet
minus
for
400.
risky. It's pretty risky, man.
Yeah.
But I can see it not going the distance because Ryan Spann is in some fucking firefights. He's explosive. Like, so is Dominic Reyes. I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens. I probably won't bet on that fight. I'm probably not gonna touch it. I'm scared to put Dominic in a parlay for being that big of a, because it's risky. We don't know how he's gonna be in this fight. You know,
facts.
this is his first fight back, so I feel a little bit more conservative on that fight. But we have Brad Riddell, another CKB boy, coming out here and fighting Renato Moicano. Dude, not doing Brad any favors at all. Renato Moicano is a fucking murderer at the 155-pound division.
Brazilian,
but I mean,
right?
so is Brad Riddell. Let's start with Brad. Brad did get submitted by Jalen Turner in 45 seconds. His last fight was not his fight. You know what I mean? Jalen Turner is baptizing everybody, though. So, I mean, there shouldn't really be too big of a deal from that. Because, again, we brought up Drew Dober, right? Brad Riddell has a decision win over him. But Rafael Fiziev did knock out Brad Riddell last year.
Rafael Fiziev is a dark horse.
Fiziev's a dark horse, bro. He is. But Brad Riddell also has 2 decision wins in 2020. One over Magomed Mustafayev, tough fucking customer, and one Alex De Silva Colejo. And then he has one win over Jamie Malarkey in 2019. So, Brad Riddell needs to get it going again. I did say when we were talking about Carlos Olberg, their coach, Eugene Behrman, fucking went in on him this camp. Went fucking in on him this camp because he has 4 fighters coming out of that camp in the same card.
Which you gotta think is a nightmare.
Stressful. One champion, too. One champion.
Organizing 4 camps at the same time to manage time.
One championship camp, too.
Yeah. That's got to be so... Like, I guarantee you when this card is over, that whole coaching staff is, regardless of the outcome, is going to be beyond relieved that this night is over.
Yeah. It's crazy. We have one Carlos Olberg, Brad Riddell, Dan Hooker, and Israel Adesanya. Pick the one that's getting the least fucking eyes on them at the gym. I'm saying Brad Riddell. And that's fucking scary because you're facing one Renato Moicano. I'm saying if one coach or if there's one fighter out of those 4 that's getting the least amount of eyes and work on, just because there's so much going on, there's 4 fighters happening in a fucking gym at once, which probably isn't happening because, I mean, it's a big, you know what I mean? They probably handle it. But if there was ever one fighter in those 4 to get the least amount of work done, the back burner, it'd be Brad Riddell, which is sad to say.
I don't know. I mean,
it's not going to be Dan Hooker or Israel.
I could get real anecdotal as to why it could be Dan Hooker, but I don't think it is.
Okay, I see.
Like, if you want to take it from the perspective of you have all of your breadwinning assets, which is your fighters, if you will, you make the most money off of their careers flourishing. So you want every single one of them to win. So Dan Hooker is in a very particular turn in his career where he's fought nothing but dogs, and he was the yes man, sadly, and the UFC gave him no favors. He fought literally the who's who in his last couple fights. He lost to them because they're the who's who. So he really needs a win right now.
Really needs a
So
fucking
you would
win
think,
right now.
from a coach perspective, I really, really am going to give him a little bit extra attention because
Facts.
I want him to win. But
Maybe Brad Riddell the same then, too.
But it might be, you might think of it like, if you look at Dan Hooker, and again, this is being anecdotal as fuck, if you think that he's not as promising as your other assets, you might not... you know what I mean? It's like the car that you think is the least reliable, you're going to drive the least. Does that make sense? That's the best analogy I can come up with for that. But now that being said, I don't know how that management is going to handle this, because if you got to imagine, like, it's got to be like triage damn near. You got to like maintain your well-being. You got to make sure that Izzy is 100 and utmost, like he's got to matter the most because he's got like they're going to get paid more from him. His fight camp is going to be more everything. And then after that, it's really like where do you see the attention to detail mattering the most? Because some of those fighters probably don't even need to be as coached as others.
Yeah, facts.
I feel like Dan Hooker is in a position where like he's either gonna learn some real bad confirmation bias and like try some shit that just hasn't been working, or maybe his coach has tried to reinvent his approach. Maybe they're gonna be game plan savvy as fuck for this fight. Simply put, from a coaching perspective, Dan Hooker or him are definitely getting back burner treatment, but probably not Dan Hooker. I guess.
Throw me that Vapi. Fucking. So let's roll back to Brad Riddell too.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's good. I'm glad you said that though. Like that's real shit. Again, I asked too. Like who's getting the least. Brad Riddell's taking on one Renato Moicano. What are the odds, Winston?
Brad, we got plus 102, and then Moicano, we got minus 124. So it's a toss-up, bro.
This whole fight is like coin flip.
Exactly, dude.
Oh
it's crazy.
my god,
it's crazy.
Those are so close. This is not helping me at all.
Yeah.
This is not helping me make bets. Shit. So let's look over Renato Moicano's last few fights. He has a decision loss, over Rafael dos Anjos. He submitted Alexander Hernandez. This was all this year. Last year, he has a submission win over Jay Herbert. 2020, he got knocked out by Rafael Fiziev. Dude's just knocking out everybody. Oh, yeah. And then he has Renato Moicano has a submission win over Damir Hadzovic. So we got a wishy-washy man right here. He's been in the UFC for a very long time. We're already in 2019. He got KO'd by the Korean Zombie. He got KO'd by Jose Aldo, excuse me. He got submitted by Cub Swanson in 2018. He won a decision over Calvin Kattar in 2018. We're just back and forth, wishy-washy here. I'm not going to go any farther than that. Brad Riddell. This is one Brad Riddell that's coming off, again, submission loss to Jalen Turner. Knocked out by Fiziev. I like how Fiziev is just knocking both of these dudes out. It's fucking hilarious. But he did get a decision win over Drew Dober. So do we see a Brad Riddell decision win over one?
I don't know. I don't feel confident betting on this one either.
I don't feel confident betting on this one either. Winston, if you had to bet on one, who would you go for?
What can you pronounce?
Yeah, what can you pronounce?
Exactly. Brad. Brad Riddell is pretty easy. So the odds to go the distance, yes to go the distance is plus 108. To not go the distance is minus 138. So
I don't even know what we picked there.
Vegas doesn't know. No one knows, bro. If Vegas doesn't know, no one knows.
I like your answer.
It's like according to
That's a good answer.
Ask Vegas what the odds are on this fight, and they're just like, you tell me, bud.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Seriously, and that's the feature prelim of this whole card.
Damn.
Moving on to this main card, man. Oh my god, this main card is so deep.
It's juicy.
You know every name on this main card if you watch the UFC. We got Dan Hooker versus Claudio Puelles in the lightweight division.
This fight for Dan Hooker,
starting out our card.
I don't want to say what he can or should not do with his career, but if he does lose this for the sake of just like on paper, he will have lost like I think 5 straight, and all of them were like finish losses.
Let's go over Dan Hooker.
So like, and again, I emphasized this earlier. Dan Hooker has fought nothing but dogs. He fights the fights that no one else wants to fight.
Dogs.
So
full-on dogs.
He basically, and I'm not saying this to make fun of him. When I say he was a yes man, I mean like they put opponents in front of him, and he's like, let's do it. He's not scared. And then and on top of that, coming from New Zealand, like when he fought Michael Chandler, who's a fight coming up that we'll mention, and a previous fight on Dan Hooker's record, because of COVID, New Zealand had just started their COVID shit. When Dan Hooker went to come back, when he landed, they put him in like a quarantine room, not because he had COVID, but the threat that he could have COVID, and he didn't get to reignite or he didn't get back with his family for like 50 plus days.
Jesus Christ.
They kept him in that fucking little room. So like he's been trying to
That was during Arnold Allen's fight, right?
I don't remember which fight specifically. But
yeah.
regardless,
I think he didn't
it's
get
like,
to do anything.
Or no, it was for the Chandler fight.
It was a Chandler fight. It was
So
a
it's
Chandler
like-
fight. Yep, you're right. You're
it's
right.
like-
You're right. That was in 2021.
Yeah, it's like, first of all, that's such a
January.
shame. Like, you put your life, your training, your family, everything on hold because of this fucking quarantine. And I'm not trying to get into the macro level, do I agree or disagree with the quarantine? I'm just simply looking at what I see. A man got separated from his family. He lost via, like, KO. Like, how easy it is to, like, have a mental breakdown in that scenario.
It's hard, man. Especially during the pandemic and shit.
Yeah, you're stuck.
Let's go over Dan Hooker's record the last few fights, man. Again, these are all who's.
These are all literal title owners or competitors. Nothing shy.
Arnold Allen, KO, first round, 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
He's gonna get a title shot in like
Arnold
2
Allen's
fights.
going to hold a championship at some time.
I give it 2 fights.
I agree.
He's gonna
I
get
agree, honestly.
another main event and then fucking sizzle.
But do you know what sucks about that? Well, no, that was in featherweight though. We can't remember. We can't forget.
He did try
I do
to-
have to say
His run,
that last fight, Dan Hooker was trying to go down in featherweight,
which is insane.
which is insane.
He's like 6 feet tall.
He's 6 feet tall. That's an insane fucking weight cut. And Arnold Allen knocked him out in the first round because of it. All right, going back to 2021, submission loss to Islam Makhachev,
Current champion.
the current champion.
Yeah. Again, he was willing to fight him. No one else was willing to fight him. Here we are.
A decision win over Nasrat Haqparast.
Haqparast is a beast.
He's a fucking beast. That's a good win. It's a good decision win.
that's a
But
game
then
win.
getting knocked out by Michael Chandler in the first round.
That was Michael Chandler's first fight in the UFC.
Yeah. Before that, losing a decision to Paul Felder. Oh, wait, no, he beat Paul Felder in a decision. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And then lost a decision to Dustin Poirier.
And the night that he got knocked out by Michael Chandler, that was the night that Poirier knocked out Connor. Not the leg break.
Yes. Actually dropped his ass and had him like this.
So, like, just wow.
Yeah. Wow, wow.
I
And
want Dan Hooker to win.
this
I
fight is wow,
love-
wow. Because he's taking on Claudio Pulis. You love what?
I love Dan Hooker as a fighter because he's game and he takes these fights. He's got heart. He ain't no bitch.
Facts.
I just really don't want to see him lose another fight. I hate.
I don't want to see him lose.
I don't want to see him in that predicament. But
It's 21-12
if
too.
hypothetically,
Fuck.
without speaking this into existence, let's say he does lose, regardless of what fashion, but he loses. Let's say the UFC does some weird shit and they're like, all right, it is what it is. You lost a bunch in a row. Dan Hooker's gonna go to like PFL and go get the bag. Like, this man will get paid. He's a must see fighter wherever he ends up. I just pray it's still in the UFC.
Yeah, I still pray too. Winston, what is Claudio Puelas for submission? What are the odds on that?
submission.
Yeah. Because we have one Claudio Puelas coming off of a submission win over Clay Guida this year in the first round.
We don't even need to ask him who he's betting for.
Right? In 2021, we had Claudio Puelas getting a submission win over Chris Grutzmacher.
See, that's why I do that. No,
Hey, Chris Grutzmacher lost too. And then Claudio Puelas won a decision win over Jordan Levitt, good submission artist. A decision win over Marcos Rosas Mariano. A submission win over Felipe Silva. And he got knocked out by Martin Bravo in his UFC debut back in 2016, though. So this kid is going off right now, really.
plus 350 for submission for.
It's not bad. What's the decision? For everybody, I guess. I don't know. What are the other odds for everyone?
So Dan Hooker is minus 152. Claudio is plus 124.
Close fight.
Will it go the distance? That is a minus 182.
I could see it going the distance, but honestly, I see Dan Hooker knocking his ass out, too.
Submissions plus 260, TKO plus 155, and points is plus 125. So it's really
Yeah,
all around.
all around. You guys can make some good money if you pick Claudio Puelas by submission. I'm not going to do that because I like Dan Hooker, though. But that's a good odd to pick up because, I mean, this dude's only getting submission wins in the UFC. He's never knocked anybody out. He's gotten knocked out. He's winning decisions. He submitted Clay Guida, which is a notable fucking submission win if you ask me.
Absolutely.
I mean, that dude's a fucking wrestler, the Carpenter. But let's move on after that. That lightweight bout's going to be crazy. That's the first fight of the pay-per-view. Right after that, we have a bantamweight bout. The last fight of Frankie Edgar's career. Taking on one Chris Gutierrez. They're not doing him any fucking favors, of course. You know, this is UFC. You have to fight the who's who. Chris Gutierrez 18-3, Frankie Edgar 23-10. This Chris Gutierrez dude is a fucking dog. He's 10 years younger than Frankie. He's 3 inches taller, same weight class. He has 1 inch reach disadvantage.
I think obviously like a fight's a fight, so it's going to be difficult to know how like game plans play out, like who punches who. But that being said, I would have to go out on a limb and say Frankie Edgar, last fight, Madison Square Garden. There's not going to be a voice in that audience that isn't screaming for Edgar.
Why did they give him Chris Gutierrez, who's on a 6-fight win streak?
I think Frankie
who hasn't lost since 2018.
I think Frankie wanted some like I don't think Frankie wanted like a tune-up, like go out.
But
like, you know
dude,
what I mean?
pick Chris Gutierrez.
It hurts.
It hurts because this is Chris. He knocked out Dana Batgarel this year. He won a decision win over Felipe Colares, won a decision win over Andre Ewell, had a draw against Cody Durden, knocked out Vince Morales, decision win over Geraldo de Freitas, and decision win over Ryan McDonald. I don't know, man. He did get submitted by Raoni Barcelos in 2018. That was his last loss. But what were you saying about Frankie? Sorry, I kind of cut you off.
It just hurts.
It hurts, dude. Why are you giving him Chris Gutierrez, bro? Dude's a fucking goon.
Just seeing
his last knockout was fucking gnarly.
Frankie was another one of those dudes that like when the whole world like reminds me of like shortly after I started committing to watching MMA full time was like I remember when Frankie was taking on BJ Penn. The whole world thought BJ Penn was invincible at that moment.
Facts.
They like BJ Penn was the Anderson Silva of the lightweights.
This is one Frankie Edgar who's been in the UFC since 2007.
He has the He has the most minutes clocked in the octagon like 4 years ago. So every minute he's fought since 4 years ago has just been
15 years in the UFC.
Yeah, he's got, if I'm not mistaken, you can look it up. He's got like I think it was like 16 hours in the octagon or some shit.
What the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
In the UFC octagon in front of people.
Insane.
That's what's scary.
Frankie is just, I don't know, like he's such a beast. Like if you're
legend.
If you have a kid
legend
and you're trying to show your kid MMA, but you're trying to like get them to like love it, and you're gonna try to take the steps to show them fights that helped you fall in love with MMA, like Frankie's
Edgar.
Highlight reel, like that trilogy he had with Gray Maynard, the second, or it was technically I think their third, the last Gray Maynard fight, that will forever be the like one of the greatest testaments of heart I've ever seen in a fight. Frankie was out on his shield. Gray Maynard was fucking him up. And then Frankie comes back, and in the 4th round, he fucking TKOs Gray Maynard.
Knocks him out cold.
That moment was just like, that was one of the first, like I said, if you have a kid, show him that fight. And that there's no way that kid's not going to go nuts unless he just really doesn't like combat sports. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't even have to be a kid. Show a novice that you know hasn't watched much MMA that fight, and they don't need to know Frankie Edgar's name. They don't need to know Gray Maynard's name. But by the end of it, they're going to be like, that little dude, just what a badass, bro. Like, it just Frankie's one of the greatest fighters.
The greatest.
Like, of the lightweights. He's such a legend. He's a UFC Hall of Famer, no exaggeration.
No exaggeration.
So like seeing him, like
he was a champion too, wasn't he?
Lightweight, took it from BJ Penn.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Took it from
you
BJ
just
Penn.
said that. You just said that.
So I will, like Frankie, just like thank you, dog. Like you,
thank you, bro.
You put your health on the line, and like another thing is you're a pioneer. You were fighting out of New Jersey when it was illegal to fight back then. You guys had to do like smokers. You guys couldn't take like fights that were on paper because like it was illegal. And like now you're fighting in fucking Madison Square Garden in a sold out arena, bro.
That's a send off.
You are going out into the sunset, bro. You are.
He needs to win. Oh, I'm gonna be screaming so much for fucking Frankie tonight, dude. He needs to win, dude.
If Frankie wins and then gives us some fire speech, it's gonna be hard not to cry, bro.
Facts, dude. All right, and we've never really done this. Let's go over this dude's career real fast. 2007, UFC 67. This man is fighting at UFC 281.
Yeah.
UFC 281. And his first fight was UFC 267 against one Tyson Griffin.
220 pay-per-views he's been fighting for this company.
Fuck,
more
dude.
than that, but or roughly that. Dude.
Decision win over Tyson Griffin, 2007. We're going up from there.
God, I haven't
February
heard that name.
2nd, 2007.
I haven't heard that name in fucking decade.
Right? KO of Mark Bocek. Decision win over Spencer Fisher. We're going to 2008. Throwback. A decision win over Gray Maynard. Or no, Gray Maynard won a decision over him. Excuse me.
That was their first bout.
That was their first bout.
Not for a belt.
Frankie won a decision win over Hermes Franca, going on to
Haven't heard that
2009.
name in a minute either.
A lot of these names,
oh
dude.
Oh my god.
Here's another one. Decision win over Sean Shirk.
Oh, the Muscle Shark.
The Muscle Shark Shirk,
BJ
dude.
Penn took that belt from him by flying knee, dog. Keep going.
Submission win over Matt Vich. Vach? V-A-A-C-H. That was in 2009, submission win. Decision win over BJ Penn.
That was for
That
his
was
belt.
the belt.
They rematched immediately.
Okay, no, excuse me. So UFC 112, lightweight, decision win over BJ Penn, took the belt.
That was the very first
Rematch
pay-per-view I
at
ever
UFC
saw.
118. Yo, so your first ever
The first pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure
you've ever saw was April 10th, 2010.
I would always
It's a
just
long
watch
time.
UFC Unleashed after the fact, and that was the first pay-per-view.
UFC Unleashed was fire when they had that
I
shit.
watched that pay-per-view at a buddy's house on a big flat screen TV that took up like half the room, like
Nice.
those 400 fucking pound televisions.
It's a good fight to watch.
That was insane.
Rematch UFC 118, Frankie Edgar decision win.
Retained.
Kept that motherfucking title. That was in August 2010. Man, we were still in high school.
Was Gray Maynard his first defense after that? The draw?
Yep. Draw decision.
Again, this is a great fight to
Draw
show him too.
decision. Go check that one out. UFC 125
So
in 2011. But then Frankie knocked out Gray Maynard
in the rematch
in
of
the
the
rematch.
century, dog.
130 UFC 136 2011. The best run, man. Shout out to Frankie Edgar, man. Then the rivalry with who? Benson Henderson came in.
Fuck.
2012, we had Benson Henderson winning a decision over Frankie Edgar. Then we had Benson Henderson defending that decision against Frankie Edgar in the same year. UFC 144 and UFC 150.
I forgot all about Benson's little UFC
Right?
run.
He did it, dude. He was champion for a while.
I'm not gonna lie, because of the way that this played out. For those who don't know, so like Benson Henderson was the WEC lightweight champion, very last WEC bout of all time. He goes against Anthony Pettis, and the kick heard around the world. The Showtime kick off the cage happens. Anthony takes the WEC belt for the last bout ever. Then they all get integrated. Zuffa buys WEC. Anthony Pettis' first fight in the UFC, which was supposed to be his tune-up fight for his immediate title shot, was against fucking God, I can't even think of it right now. The Carpenter, Clay Guida.
Yep.
So Clay Guida decided, oh, you're a WEC champ? Cool. Do you like to wrestle? Because I do. And then 15 minutes later, Clay Guida's hands raised, and the UFC is just like, God damn it.
Fucking wrestling.
While that happened, Benson Henderson was just winning, and he was the former title dude. So the UFC's like, you haven't lost yet. Here's Frank Edgar. Takes the belt. Made me so sad.
Took that
so
shit.
fucking
He
sad.
took that motherfucker,
I was
too.
instantly a Benson hater from that moment. Instantly. And then Benson fucking sure enough, we already remember, not to get sidetracked, he lost it to one and only Anthony Pettis. And then Pettis lost
guy.
it to RDJ on your birthday, 21st birthday. Shout out Rick.
Gotta love it.
But no,
Gotta
back to Frankie. So like when that happened, I was itching. I was like, dude, we're gonna get Pettis, Frankie. This is gonna be insane. This is gonna be the unification, because everyone knew Pettis was either the best lightweight in the world or the second best lightweight in the world. He didn't really get to prove it against Frankie, but he ultimately was the best lightweight in the world at the time. So
Tracks.
But back to Frankie, I was
Back to
so
Frankie.
sad. So after he lost to Benson twice.
He lost to Jose Aldo in a decision win, UFC 156.
Oh yeah, that was some step in shit. I think. I don't even think he had that's why he got that title shot
I think it was on
immediately.
short notice. Yeah. But after that fight, he won a decision against Bronx Charles Oliveira in 2013.
I didn't even
Didn't even remember it, right?
Damn.
Then he knocked out BJ Penn again in the tough finale, 2014. Then he won a submission win against Cub Swanson in 2014.
This is when he was starting his terror at 145.
knocked out Chad Mendez, decision win over Uriah Faber.
Hold on, that knockout of Chad Mendez, nobody saw that coming.
No one saw that coming because Chad Mendez was on his own tear at that point too.
Chad Mendez was off the juice still. I think that was before
think he
his
was off the
suspension,
juice still.
and he was just devastating.
18, yeah, fucking killer. Frankie, I love the career. 2015, decision win over Uriah, knockout of Chad Mendez. 2016, decision win over Jeremy Stevens. Lost a decision to Jose Aldo before that, UFC 200.
Again, at this point, he had transitioned to 145 for
Yep.
this entire bout selection we had just mentioned. Every single one of them, pretty much at this point, post Benson Henderson.
Yep, featherweight.
So he was fighting 145 this whole time. He had not only got his title shot circumstantially, but he clearly earned the title shot again Like this was on some like undeniable shit. Like,
Frankie was still doing his thing in 2017. He was still tearing, knocking out Yair Rodriguez.
That was
in the
huge.
second round.
When him and Yair fought, everyone thought that was going to be Yair's moment. They're like, Yair's going to win this. It's his title shot moment.
Yair was gonna win that too.
And then Frankie was just like, nah, little boy, nah, little boy.
I think Yair quit on the stool.
I don't remember if
sure.
that's how that ended. I
It
remember
says round 2, 5 minutes.
He
so-
just got.
or maybe he lost at the end of the round.
He was just getting beat the fuck up.
Frankie's a fucking beast. All right, 2018, we got Brian Ortega, Frankie Edgar bout canceled, but then it got fucking reinstated, and Brian Ortega knocked out Frankie Edgar.
I love Brian Ortega, but that one hurt.
This might have changed Frankie Edgar's career, that knockout loss, but he did get another decision win over Cub Swanson in 2018. Then Korean Zombie knocked out Frankie Edgar. Max Holloway beat Frankie by a decision. Frankie beat a decision against Pedro Munoz, still holding it out. That was in 2020. Then Frankie got knocked out by Chito Vera, got knocked out by Corey Sandhagen last year. And now this is Frankie's first fight in 2020 and his last fight in the UFC. And this is against Chris Gutierrez. So that is a very long career, a very fucking nice career, if you ask me. This is a 23-10 Frankie Edgar. He's seen the who's who. He's done that. You know what I mean? He's been there, done that. Been champion. There's nothing you need to hold your head about if you lose this fight against Chris Gutierrez, but I said it earlier. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to be fucking screaming for Frankie Edgar to win.
Dude, it's like I love Frankie Edgar. I'm looking forward to this fight, but it's the same thing that I said about Donald Cerrone. Every moment closer we get to that bout is that many seconds like closer we'll see to never seeing him compete again.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you don't owe me anything, dog. Thank you so much.
Right? Just a legend. We're seeing the legend leave
The
today.
way you fight and carry yourself is what makes this sport great.
Facts, man. One of the fighters that made me fall in love with the sport. It really, really, like, for sure. I'll remember him forever, for the sport. But, Winston, what are the odds on Frankie Edgar, Chris Gutierrez?
I'm sure they're gnarly.
Frankie is plus 198. And Chris
I'll take it.
Chris is a minus 250. So, I mean...
The minus 250 does it a little.
I feel like this one is going to go the distance.
You think so? What's it not to go the distance? I don't think it is.
I feel like unless Frankie gets finished, he's just going to do his shit for 15 minutes on this guy.
It's toss-up minus 112, minus 112.
What the fuck?
Dude, nobody knows.
What the fuck, man? Oh. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the over-under for total rounds is 2.5. So, they think it's going to go at least 2 rounds.
At least 2 rounds. I could see it. I would bet on the over 2.5. I would bet on over 1.5, too. I'd bet on both of those.
Is it 5 rounds or is it 3 rounds?
Oh, fuck. I would bet only on the 1.5.
That's why I was saying 15 minutes.
Only 1.5, yeah.
Yeah, because then if it's over 2.5, that's going
That's
the
literally
distance.
the whole.
Yeah, so.
All right. Let's go on to the last 3 fights of this fucking card.
We had to pay respect.
We had to pay respect to Frankie. I had to go over his career. Love the dude. Thank you, Frankie. But we have Dustin Poirier taking on Michael Chandler. So the people's main event or what?
Hands down. I have said this before when this fight got announced, and I'm going to hold true to my word. This will be the very first bout that I actually bet money on.
Really?
I've never done it.
He's betting money. I already know who he's betting on.
I'm superstitious, but you guys have heard me say this before. If you went to Mizzou and you made it through that wrestling program, which is like one of the best wrestling programs in the SEC, you are cut from a very, very fine cloth. And to be able to say that about yourself, that carries into MMA so well. And we can name a few Mizzou dudes that are like current or former champion, you know what I'm saying? Like Michael Chandler, longtime Bellator champion. Johnny Eblin, current
Ben Askren.
Yeah, Ben Askren, multiple organization champion. Tyron Woodley, even though his career
Mizzou has wrestlers, man.
went the way it went, they produce juggernauts, and the ones that have all made their way into MMA that I'm aware of are all champions. So that being said, Michael Chandler is a champion on the mats, and like the only thing that's gonna make him lose this fight, to me, is getting caught. I don't think
straying off the game plan too. He needs to have a game plan against Dustin Poirier because Dustin Poirier's got better boxing. So that poppy striking dude,
so Dustin's sharp.
I don't know, man.
We're gonna see speed, and who has the speed advantage? I think
take him down.
That's gonna be huge. If he wants to take Dustin down, I think he can. I think he'll have 15 minutes to just throw him down. I don't think Dustin. Like Dustin's a great grappler, but I don't think he has like not to compare Chandler to Khabib. That is not the same wrestling. Dagestani kill squad wrestling is not collegiate wrestling. They're their own things. They're better in their own ways. That being said, I still think Chandler's advantage is going to be so huge, but Chandler's a stubborn mule, bro.
I was about to say that, bro. He even said, he's like, yeah, smart thing would be to wrestle this motherfucker. Don't hold me to it. That's what he said. He said, don't hold me to it. Because this motherfucker, as soon as he gets hit, bro, he's just fucking going, dude.
Well, Chandler...
He just fucking turns into a monster.
Ever since...
Just fucking swings and just fucking goes crazy.
So, Chandler trains out of Tennessee, and, like, in his fight camp, like, one of the fighters he trains with is, like, Gilbert Burns. He used to train with Usman. They all train with Duke Rufus. That is their striking coach. Every single one of them. And, like, the way that he is... Like, his wrestling... Michael Chandler is such an extreme athlete just outside of fighting. Like, this man hit like 7 backflips after he baptized Tony Ferguson. Like, that takes a lot of athletic ability just to do standing backflips like multiple times in a row.
Dude's explosive, man.
That's what I'm saying. So he baptized fucking Dan Hooker with his left. He like almost got the belt when he dropped Oliveira with the right. He's demonstrated he's got mean hands, but if he has the same game plan that he fought Justin Gaethje, he's losing this fight. He's losing
Can't
this
do
fight.
that with Dustin.
But
you can't.
If he lands, if Chandler lands one clean overhand either hand, he's gonna put his opponent on their ass.
I agree with you, but I will say Dustin has a better striking. Even though he has Michael has that power.
Yeah, he just has power.
Dustin outstruck Conor McGregor, and that's one of the best strikers we've seen in a long time. And I think Dustin's hands are probably even better than that now.
I think so, but Chandler is just... If he has the speed advantage, those hands might not matter. Because if Chandler does his giant like lunging in overhands, and he can do that faster than Homie.
Dustin can't get caught, bro. He better not get caught.
Neither can get caught. This fight,
Dustin is a fucking.
This fight should be bananas. And like one thing I also want to comment on it, they had some like marketed beef where they were like talking shit to each other or whatever. But like at the press conference, it was all love. They said like all respectable things about one another, which to me, I really care about that shit. Like I like shit talking when you're like a Conor or a Diaz, when it's genuine shit talking, not like fucking Colby Covington shit talking where you're just trying to get eyes on you. So that being said, I love that they respected one another. He even was just like, yo, Dustin Sauce, shout out being the UFC's official.
In their face off, they were talking a little shit. You could see it.
I think they're both just saying, like, let's make it a banger, dog.
Yeah,
like,
see what the fuck happens, bitch.
This has Fight of the Night written all over it. If this goes 15 minutes, we as fans we're either going to see a war or we're just going to see a wrestling match. Yeah. No in between.
No in between, farther, no near.
Wait, in the winner of this, guaranteed is either like if the winner of this wins in impressive fashion, you get Islam. It's like implied. If Islam's not fighting Volkanovski, that's what's implied. If not, maybe they do if they want to. The winner of this does an interim belt and they have to fucking rematch Oliveira because Oliveira deserves an instant rematch in my opinion. But because the whole super fight scenario, they might not have that. They might want to put that super fight on as fast as possible.
I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, man. I'm just excited as fuck. What are the odds on this, Winston?
Dustin minus 220.
Yep.
Michael plus sense. 176.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Odds to go the distance, to not go the distance, minus 330.
Oh, I was gonna say like minus 500.
Yeah, minus 330.
That's a parlay piece right there.
To not go the distance.
That's a parlay
I'm
pick
just
right
betting
there.
that Chandler wins.
I might pick that for our parlay.
I'm strictly betting that Chandler wins. That's the only bet I'm putting.
Would you put it just money line?
Yeah, I don't.
That's a good bet. I mean, you're underdogging.
I don't want to put any caveats on it, like under a certain amount of rounds, over
just
certain amount of rounds.
Him win.
Just him winning.
I like it.
That's what I'm gonna bet.
All right. So the fight right after that, we have women strawweight bout title fight. Okay, it's not even a bout. Title bout. Weili Zhang taking on the champion Carla Esparza. Okay. I got Weili Zhang, if you ask me. Okay, like that's my 2 cents. I seen her pick up Francis Ngannou like it was fucking nothing.
Yeah,
I got Weili Zhang. I don't think Carla's picking up fucking. She probably can, but
I mean, if homegirl's got,
she didn't do it, so
if she's got takedown defense, like then
Weili has to have takedown defense
because she's demonstrated she's strong, but no amount of strength is gonna make like your hips like sprawl. You know
this is one Weili Zhang coming off a knockout win over Joanna Jędrzejczyk. A decision loss from Rose Namajunas, and a knockout loss from Rose Namajunas. That was last year. Not the best year for Weili Zhang. She did have a decision win over Joanna Jędrzejczyk in 2020. She knocked out Jessica Andrade, beat Tisha Torres, and submitted Jessica Aguilar. And has a decision win over Danielle Taylor. But Carla Esparza is, I mean, if we're talking somebody who's been in the UFC for a fucking long time.
8 years.
Carla Esparza has been in the UFC since 2014. Her debut match was the Tough Finale where she
Inaugural champ.
submitted
Rose.
Rose Namajunas. Okay? And she did the same fucking thing. I mean, she didn't do the same thing. She won a decision win over Rose to get her title. She got knocked out in 2015 by Joanna. Carla Esparza won a decision win over Juliana Lima in 2016. Decision win. She has a lot of decision wins, bro. One over Cynthia Calvillo, one over Morena Moroz. Lost a decision win to Randa Marcos. Yeah, there we go. Got knocked out by Tatiana Suarez. Lost a decision against your girl, Claudia Gadelha.
Oh, she doesn't fight anymore.
Doesn't
but
fight
I love
no more.
her.
Yeah. But she has a decision win over Alexa Grasso, Wiener Jandiroba, Marina Rodriguez, Michelle Watterson. She got knocked out by Yan Xiaonan. Who hasn't, though? Yan Xiaonan be knocking out everybody. And yeah, now she's fighting Weili Zhang after a decision win, the most boring fight in the UFC, over Rose Namajunas.
That's got to be top 5.
Top 5 most
fights.
boring fight ever. Yeah.
Definitely one of them.
Definitely one of them.
I can name a few others, but that's not important.
I got Weili Zhang for this. What is Weili sitting at, dude?
She's a minus 400.
God damn.
Yeah,
Carla plus
the
300.
biggest favorite on the card.
So will the fight go the distance? To not go the distance is minus 136.
Wow. I can see Carla grinding her out and maybe submitting Weili.
I was about to say,
I could see it.
This may sound like an unpopular opinion, but I think Carla is going to make this a very, very boring fight on,
I think so
on
too.
her terms.
I think so too.
Like, I think if she can avoid getting hit and stick and move, she's proven on she's taken down every opponent she's ever competed
fought.
with. Yeah.
Ever.
So the odds for her getting a takedown are like 1,000%.
Yeah.
That being said, when will the takedown come?
A nice same game parlay. Maybe a same game parlay with Carla. Most takedowns, one takedown in the first round or something.
Something like that. Now the question is, how does she get the takedown and what does she do with it? Because
Right,
if Carla
exactly.
can get her down, she'll hold her. But like coming off of that Piotr Jan incident with Sean O'Malley, she's got to have that in the back of her mind that she can't just take her down.
Just take her down.
You can't.
You
like,
got to be doing something.
You got to
with it.
put you got to aljo treatment. You got to threaten. You got to put them in submission. Like risk. You can't just sit on her. But like I straight up see like Carla trying to get her ass to the cage, leaning on her, and then trying to put her butt on this on the fucking canvas.
I could see it too.
So
and I mean, Weili Zhang just has the fucking striking.
That's how she
easily
wins
over the
Zhang's key to victory is going to be the way she's like won pretty much every one of her fights is just insane strikes.
What are those props looking at? What's a Weili Zhang knockout?
So we got Weili Zhang to win by TKO or Kayla Esperanza to win by points is minus 160.
Wow.
Weili Zhang
See?
to win by TKO or Carla to win by submission is minus 105.
Wow. These are fucking awesome odds.
You see what we were
I would
saying?
do both of those. What the fuck?
Yeah.
We were calling
Wow.
the odds say it's either going to be a boring decision or it's going to be a TKO.
Weili Zhang TKO.
Equal odds.
Yeah,
we're
equal
not
fucking
we're not
odds.
lunatics for assuming that.
Crazy. That's going to be your co-main title fight. Now moving on to the main event of the evening, the title fight, the middleweight title fight. Israel Stylebender Adesanya taking on Alex Pereira. I thought it was Fajeda. Apparently it's Pereira. So that's what I'm calling him now.
Yep.
And this is one Alex Pereira that has knocked out Izzy before. He knocked him out 6 years ago. This was in a kickboxing bout. He also beat Izzy by a decision before that fight. Oh man, it's hard to say because I mean kickboxing is a completely different sport. The range is different when striking and you have to, equate for takedowns and you just got to be careful. But this is one Alex Fajeda who is 6-1 in MMA and he's getting a title shot against Israel Adesanya, 23-1.
So
Crazy.
my honest hypothesis of how this goes is, and I'll add the caveat that I'm biased because Izzy beat Bobby Nux, and that's my favorite middleweight to this day. So I have a grudge with Izzy over that. I also think Izzy legitimately lost their last bout, regardless. Without getting into that, Izzy's key to victory in every fight he's pretty much been in the UFC is he's not only is he a great athlete, he's such a good spatial awareness striker that he allows for fighters like Marvin Vettori, who's a straight grappler, to not get near him, stays dangerous, lands strikes and whatnot. His advantage has always been that he's had the striking pedigree. But I think we can say wholeheartedly that he's going up against a dude who irrefutably is a better striker than him.
Yeah.
Here is why. The entire time Izzy adopted MMA and joined MMA, granted he was facing the threat of takedowns and fighting Kelvin Gastelums and shit like that, which had the threat of takedowns. He never really had to genuinely implore takedowns like a Francis Ngannou did for Ciryl Gane.
For Ciryl.
I don't see Izzy having that in his bag to do what Francis did. So that being said, he's fighting a dude who on 2 separate occasions demonstrated better striking, and the entire time that Izzy was trying to like become competent in MMA while emphasizing his striking, he's fighting a guy who just focused on striking that whole time from a point of already being better. So to insinuate that starting to train grappling and incorporate grappling into your training regimen and to imply that you got better at striking than the guy who did no grappling almost the entire time you were doing grappling. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's a good take.
He took time away from his striking pedigree to make himself more competent in MMA.
But
Alex wasn't doing that.
To argue that though, Alex, who's he even fighting? Who's Alex fighting? I mean, like look at Israel's fucking pedigree. Like he's fighting the who's who. He's beating all of these guys.
None of those dudes that Izzy has fought for sure has better hands. It's not. It's like this is the first time we can say for sure that the thing that gets him his wins is going against someone.
I think if you ask me, I think Paulo Costa knocks out Alex Pereira.
I don't.
I do.
I think he could. I think he has the ability.
He has better hands. Paulo has better hands than Alex. Fuck yeah, he does, dude.
Look what. Okay, so like again, Paulo like has trained grappling because he has to, because it's competent. If him and Alex did a just striking match, he's gonna get kicked in the face. You know what I'm saying? It's not even close.
I don't know, man.
I guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee it. Now, is there a will for Paulo to land a devastating strike and win because he's a monster? Yes. But all I'm going to say is,
I don't know, man.
I think Izzy's bread and butter in every fight he's ever been in is he's got the striking advantage, and he's used that to his advantage. Or he's used that.
He does have the striking advantage in this fight.
I don't think so at all.
I don't think so. Did you watch the last fight where he got knocked out? He was winning that fight.
If I watched a lot,
and then he strayed off his game plan and then got knocked out.
Not only did I watch that fight, I watched highlights of that fight too, just to see.
He was winning that fight. He almost got him out in the second round.
Every single time Pereira threw his lead left hook, Izzy fucking ate that shit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He was eating
in Izzy's mind, he thought.
But what was Alex eating? He almost got taken out in that second round. Izzy almost took him out in that second round.
Like he was like I'm not saying Izzy is incompetent to win. I'm saying Izzy cannot be a better striker using causal logic. The relationship between time trained and time competing.
I think he can, because MMA striking is so much different than kickboxing. It's so much different.
In a way, it is, because there's things you can get away with that you can't get away. But I genuinely think that Izzy's gonna I think this is gonna be a boring fight.
You think Izzy's gonna jab to the win?
When we were talking earlier,
jab and leg kick to win.
We were talking earlier about boring fights. I think the most boring fight in UFC history that I would bet on was Izzy versus Yoel Romero.
That's kind of on Yoel's fucking thing.
I'm not blaming Izzy specifically, but I'm saying Izzy fought a dude that had striking potential, and he threw, I think they said, I think he landed like 18 significant strikes in 25 minutes.
Because he was countering, though.
But hear me out. If you're so conscious of being a counter striker, and I'm not saying he didn't. He won that fight against Yoel. That's not even in question. It was just the fact that he went up against a juggernaut who had devastating striking ability, and he just backed away from him for 25 minutes.
Don't say it like that. He didn't back away the whole time. Come on, dude. Yoel was just sitting there.
There's like a
Yoel was literally doing this,
there's
bro.
Like a 70-second clip where it's like when you and your buddy are trying to figure out the controls, and it just shows them just standing
if you ask me, that's on Yoel.
I'm not saying it's strictly.
It's the same thing. That's like saying Izzy's in trouble for winning a decision win over Jared Cannonier. No, Jared didn't do shit. Jared didn't go for it. Jared didn't fucking go for it, man. Gotta go for it.
I just think
gotta go for it.
I just think that Izzy is going to he's gonna be timid because he's gonna be. I
don't think so.
He's gonna be striking someone who's gonna be.
I think Alex is gonna go for broke and get him out of there, and then get caught and get knocked out by Izzy. Because who did that happen to? Robert Whittaker got knocked the fuck out by Izzy because he was the only one who took it to Izzy. The only one to ever take it to Izzy got knocked out, right? Rematch. What does that happen? Decision win. Because he didn't take it to him that time. Because what happened? He got knocked the fuck out. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. Pick your fucking poison. Are you gonna try and outpoint Izzy, or are you gonna try and go for broke and get taken the fuck out? Pick your poison.
I just think that Izzy's traditional fight strategy is to keep it standing, and that's what Pereira is going to do too. And
I don't know. You might be surprised, man.
If Izzy,
because Izzy's saying that he knows something that we don't know. He's been telling Alex all week. I know something that y'all don't fucking know.
We'll see. I'm definitely like Izzy's definitely. I'm not gonna bet on this one because like I don't want to bet against Izzy. He's just kind of like he's a neutralizing fighter, so I don't like betting against fighters that will neutralize people.
True.
So that said,
makes sense.
That being said, though, I genuinely think that like this is gonna sound crazy, but I think Izzy is like when you're the champ and it's just like you gotta beat me. I think in a weird convoluted way, Izzy has to beat Alex in this fight. I don't think Alex can coast to a decision by any means. He has to outstrike this man.
He has to
drop
knock out
this
Izzy.
man, make it
Or drop him. Yeah,
make it something visceral that we can all like see like that fucking happen. But like I think Izzy's gonna be fucking timid, bro. I really do. I don't know what strategy that he's gonna employ. And on top of that, they're in lighter gloves than they've ever competed against each other at, and Izzy's 0-2 against this man, including getting dropped significantly.
That's a different sport, though.
I mean, again, they're not like Izzy. Unless Izzy proves me wrong, I don't see Izzy trying to take him down whatsoever. I think the fight's going to play out identical to a kickboxing bout in smaller gloves. I genuinely believe that.
This is Alex Fajeda. 1 fight in the LFA, 3 fights in the UFC. So we have him fighting Israel tonight. We have Sean Strickland getting knocked out by Alex Pereira. It's so hard to change it now.
It is.
Bruno Silva getting a decision lost, and he was getting his ass kicked that whole fight, if you ask me. I watched that fight. Then in LFA, or no, not in LFA, this was in the UFC, his first fight in the UFC, he took on Andreas Michailidis.
Didn't he lose?
Flying knee knockout in the second round.
That was just gnarly.
But Alex Pereira has lost in MMA before.
He did lose a decision.
He lost a decision win against Artem Vakitov. Who the fuck is that, right? But in kickboxing, he did beat Artem. He did beat Artem.
So, I mean, I don't know how. The only reason that
knocked out Thomas Powell.
There's the real reason that he's even fighting Izzy tonight is A, Izzy's pretty much cleared out the division, and then B, they had the marketable storyline that he beat Izzy in kickboxing. That's the only reason. And he won so far. Like, let's face it, if Strickland would have beat Alex, this would be Strickland tonight. 1,000%.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking over this record too. Like, Alex has lost, man. Like, he's lost. He's not some fucking. He's on a fat streak in kickboxing. Don't get it twisted. But he's gotten knocked out. You know what I mean? He's lost plenty of decisions. So like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
But like, do you see the whole sentiment of where I'm coming from? Like, if you take an analogy that's similar, if you take like, I don't know, like a running back from 2 separate schools, and then one goes to a new school where they take him like, all right, we're gonna put you at slot, we're gonna make you do some wide receiver shit. And hold on, the other one stays at running back the whole time, and then now they're about to play each other, and like homie is being like, okay, he was a running back, but now he's a running back dual threat receiver going against a pure running back. Who's gonna have more yards? The guy who's been running. My thing is
the pure running back is going up against fucking D4 teams. Like
true,
the guy that's hitting slot is in D1 and has been at the top of D1 for his whole career.
But do you see?
You know what I mean?
You see where
difference.
The reason I'm using that analogy is because like the kickboxing is the running bread and butter for this analogy. Because, like, the one dude who never stopped doing the same grind, i.e. Alex in kickboxing, which is going to translate to just striking in the cage. Like, I think, when I say I think he's a better striker, I don't think he's superior. That's not the word I would ever use. I just think that his ceiling is higher. And by higher, I mean, when he lands, it's a little bit more devastating. That's about it. I don't
know. I can argue that too, man. Israel has plenty of finishes to disagree with that.
No, I'm not. Again, I'm not trying to take a single thing away from Izzy. I just think that the homie that, like Izzy, I would bet any amount of money that, like, I'm not going to, but I would bet Izzy's going to try to strike him the whole time because that's how Izzy fights. He probably is. That's how Izzy fights everyone.
I do agree with you that Alex does have the power over him, though. Yeah. Alex literally has fucking thunder in his hands.
If you ask me to bet on this fight, how do I think this fight goes? I think
Izzy.
I was gonna say I think this is a 25-minute Izzy decision. It has it written.
What is that? What is that sitting at?
Has it written all over it?
What's an Izzy decision sitting at?
That is plus 100.
Wow, that's actually a good pickup.
Alex's only key to victory in this fight
knockout
is either knockout. Or,
I could see him submitting him though, like putting him on
like
fucking. Q Street and then fucking
Like rear naked.
yeah, rear naked him.
So
You know.
Alex submission is plus 2,900.
Yeah, not dude. What would you do if you hit that? Huh?
So if you bet-
wow. If you bet $1, you win like what? 290.
29.
Yeah, I was gonna say-
29. Okay, I did that wrong.
So like I said, it's
That's not too
the
crazy. I mean,
ol-
29 to 1 odds is pretty good though.
Yeah, I mean,
if Pereira outclasses him and just reminds everyone like, oh, he is the superior striker, and like it's more convincing than their first kickboxing bout that wasn't back and forth, then maybe he wins a decision. But I think the only way he beats Izzy is if he has to at minimum drop him.
Yeah,
Like, and
he
Izzy
does.
has to just be like throwing air punches. Like I don't see.
I'm gonna be fucking riding for Izzy too,
I'm
bro.
not.
This is gonna be stressful, man.
Like I said, I respect the shit out of Izzy, dog. But
Get over it. He beat fucking Whitaker. He
Remember-
beat him.
No,
Okay, he
no.
knocked him out.
You still
then he
hold
won
on,
by
hold
decision.
on. Remember
he
when-
beat him?
if I'm not mistaken, when Weidman's leg snapped in half, you were like, karma for Anderson, fucker.
yeah, I was, dude. I was
So-
like, fuck you, Weidman.
So you hate Weidman, and I hate Izzy. I don't hate you, Izzy. You're a beast. I'll never forgive you. And on
Damn.
top of that,
I'm riding for you, I'm riding for you, dog. Style bender shit.
I don't know if,
Fuck, this is gonna be crazy.
if Izzy loses and anything shy of like a baptism, they're gonna rematch.
Yeah, they're gonna rematch. Fuck, this is gonna be crazy,
so
dude. I can't wait.
Is he minus 230? Alex
Yep.
plus 184. So
Yeah. I mean, picking up Alex, that's a good pick. But I would. I got Izzy. I got Izzy winning.
Will the fight go the distance? It's a toss up. Yes, minus 112 to not go the distance.
Oh my
minus
god!
116.
What is this?
So parlays
crazy.
are gonna be
That's crazy. I've
Parlays
never
are
seen
gonna be
props that
weird.
close before in my life.
This
For
whole
the
card.
entire
whole
card, bro.
So crazy.
From top to bottom. It's
And you
wild.
know, they were like this in the middle of the week. Usually, toward the end of the week, shit,
Separate.
switches out and it's the
So
same.
everything but Zhang
Wow.
Wei Li is a
Everything
fucking
but
coin
Zhang Wei
flip.
Li.
And
Every
Molly-
single fight.
and Molly McCain.
I mean, and Israel. Israel's a 2-1 right now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
It's a
Molly-
2-1.
Molly McCain, Wu, and then fucking.
Damn, he pointed when
Wei
he
Li? Oh, is
pointed
he?
when he said "woo." Did you see that? He was like "woo."
No, that was counting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Still though. So
still fire. Damn, that is your UFC 281 fight card that is happening tonight, guys. Tonight. If you're watching this live, it happens tonight, Saturday, November.
before we make our parlay,
November.
I wanted to
12th.
I wanted to segue off of something that we talked about last episode that I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the homie.
Shout him out.
So last week we were very confused, but had determined that the homie Mark Hunt was going for his last bout
Yeah.
against a fucking giant
Knocked him
professional
the
rugby
fuck
player
out.
who was like 8-0 at the time.
Yeah.
And Mark
Knocked
Hunt,
him out.
Mark Hunt TKO'd him on his feet, walks off into the sunset with a win. Fucking shout out Mark Hunt.
Shout out
bro.
Mark Hunt, dude. Walking away in the sunset. I love
another
it.
fucking legend that's just like, again, if you're trying to put someone onto MMA and
Mark
you're trying
Hunt.
to just look up any fight he's ever been in,
Anyone.
losses included, it'll be crazy. One of the greatest fights of all time was his rematch against Bigfoot Silva. But the reason that when you look that up in the record books is, and this adds to why Mark Hunt sued the piss out of the UFC.
Steroids.
No contest. Bigfoot was on steroids.
A lot of steroids.
Yeah, a lot. I
Like
mean,
he fucking
that dude, y'all-
did not pass.
Y'all remember,
like
y'all remember the Crimson Chin off of Fairly Odd Parents? That dude had the equivalent in his fucking forehead, dog. Like Bigfoot Silva was.
he
Like,
did
He had the biggest target of all time
on his forehead,
and
bro.
that man,
Now he'd be still getting knocked out.
and that man TKO'd
God.
fucking Fedor.
Yeah,
Let's not
which
forget.
is crazy. Let's not
forget.
All right, let's fucking stray away from this MMA and go to a little bit of NFL. Or do you guys have any
There's some
basketball news
So
before we get into NFL?
So Ime Udoka did not end up becoming the Nets head coach. They just recently announced their interim head coach or their current head coach, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
I can't think of his name, but Steve Nash did get fired.
Yeah.
Which is they were like 2
I'll
and
look it
5
up.
to start the season. So like
Yeah.
it was like, bro, you got a huge liability in Kyrie, but as far as ball player, he's very competent. And then you have Kevin fucking Durant, a top 3 player in the league.
Jacques Vaughn.
Yeah.
Or
I haven't
Jackie
heard of
Vaughn.
him.
Is it Jackie Vaughn?
I think so.
Jacques-
I think it's
Jackie.
Yeah.
Jackie Vaughn.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him, but he seems like a really good guy, and he seems really cool. I like him.
Shout out to Jackie Vaughn taking on some big fucking shoes, dude.
Yeah, that's
Taking
about all
on some
the,
big shoes.
Yeah.
I don't know of much other NBA news specifically, but
The Lakers are doing terrible.
Lakers are shitting the bed.
1-4.
Sounds like they might trade Anthony Davis.
they're like 2-10.
Whoa!
Yeah, sounds like they might trade Anthony Davis.
You
Yeah,
heard that here first.
Yeah, they're 2-10, I believe.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Nuggets are doing decent. Warriors are struggling.
Really?
it's early.
Yeah, it's very early in the season. That's why we haven't really talked about NBA too much. Like
see
it's
you.
super
hard
early.
to
It's very
dissect.
early to dissect. Okay.
Yeah.
No one's in rhythm yet.
We'll
Basketball
get into
shape-
it more maybe next week after.
But
Yeah.
in NFL news, if you are a Indianapolis Colts fan, you've had a hectic last like 72 hours. They lost their head coach, Adam Wright was his name?
I think so.
Or
yeah.
Frank Wright?
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
got fired just because
Bye.
they were shit in the bed, and then they didn't really know who the next head coach would be, and then they bring a former center or lineman, Jeff Saturday.
Yep.
Jeff Saturday. Jeff Saturday's
This guy.
So
this guy drinks beers, dude.
They make this guy the head coach, which made a lot of people,
Saturdays for the boys.
a lot of people in Indy were scratching their head, like, not because he's like is or is not competent, but they're like, what does he bring to the coaching table? And
Beer.
He was a consultant for the Colts, so he was in building.
Consultant?
Yeah, he was in, which meant he was involved in football activities.
Okay.
But other than that, he coached like high school football for like a very
yikes.
brief window.
Yeah, has not
he has,
coached.
Dog.
He has like no.
What would you do? Best coach in the fucking world. What would you do?
Dude, his press conference was fire. Did you
What?
guys-
It was sick.
It was
bro.
so
I need to
sick.
see this guy.
So
I
he's-
gotta see
he-
this guy.
He's basically giving you his like he's trying to sell, like not sell, but like in a way he's trying to sell himself to like all the fans, and he explains like he's
Oh, this guy
he's a
is
football mind.
awesome.
He's always been around football, but like he explains he's
You're
like
telling me this guy?
Dude,
Jeff
Dude.
Saturday.
he played with Peyton Manning. He was the center for Peyton Manning.
This guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he was basically like, I don't know if I'm going to be a good coach. We're going to find out in 8 weeks, and then I'll get back to you guys. It was sick. It was dope.
Yo, Jeff Saturday is a fucking legend.
He's lit.
And
Dude,
like
he's lit just because of his last name.
Yeah.
and like not even including the coaching
And he looks
scenario.
fucking. He looks like he would be Indy's head coach. He just looks like it. Like this guy. Look at this head of hair.
Not even considering
That fucking
their
guy.
their head coach drama or their full team woes. Another issue going on in Indy is the whole Matt Ryan scenario.
This dude's got some
Yeah.
They
titties
go
on
and
him.
get Matt Ryan. He's not performing to the standards that they would like. And then now they have this rookie quarterback. What's his name?
Sam Ellinger, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he's been their starter for like
He's
good or
been doing
bad.
okay, I guess.
And then on top of
Not
that,
really.
And on top of that, for the first time in his entire football career, you got Jonathan Taylor, who's just going through injury.
Ugh.
Before this season,
Don't
he had
remind me.
he had never missed a practice from Pop
remind
Warner
me.
to pros. He never missed a practice due to injury. And this season, it's getting the best of him. And there's like, it goes without saying. Like we talk about this in our fantasy football. Whoever is the leading running back any given year, that very next season has injury prone written all over them because that team realized, oh, we're going to get away with this usage of this guy.
So they use the fuck
And
out
like,
of him.
it's the same
Yeah.
reason that last year, like, which I happened to win the league. Not that makes my ethos any better, but last year you can ask Winston.
flex.
I
Yeah,
hold on.
okay.
In the draft, I passed on Derrick Henry because he's coming off a 2,000-yard season, and I was like, he's going to get injured. There's no way
He's
they're not
killing
gonna-
it this season,
they're-
though.
I have him now, the year removed from the injury, but like
Killing it.
that season, I was like, I'm gonna not get him. He's the leading rusher last year, 2,000 yards. There's no way that body's gonna put up that. He was trending to till he got hurt,
Yeah.
but I called him getting hurt.
called it, yeah.
And so I passed him.
He got hurt
and I got
too.
Dalvin Cook, who gets hurt anyway. But regardless,
Nice fucking cover up, dude.
well, I mean, but
He
regardless,
gets hurt more than anybody else.
But regardless, the reason I'm mentioning this though is because
That's hilarious.
Jonathan Taylor, coming off of the rushing title last year, like just shattering everyone's expectations. He wasn't even the first drafted running back in that. Like the Chiefs got Clyde Edwards-Helaire over him, whatever. But point being, I thought coming into this season he was going to have high usage written all over him, and that screams injury.
Yeah,
So
it
I was like, this is tough. Like it's going to be hard for him, and he was the number 1 draft pick pretty much unanimously in fantasy.
Yeah.
So like
Yikes.
to see Jonathan Taylor hurt, that takes an entire dimension away from that team's offense. They went
does.
from the biggest run threat offense pretty much in the league to a team that's expected to like run it maybe like a dozen downs a game type shit. And then the guy throwing the ball, the guy they went out and got, they spent some money on, Matty Ice. I didn't see that working out very well. I honestly thought that the Colts defense was giving them such life to get to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like Phillip Rivers took the Colts to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Jacoby Brissett and company damn near took them to the playoffs. Like that defense is top notch. It just sucks seeing like this happen. Like one of my best friends is a huge Colts fan. Shout out Rubio. I hate seeing your team down bad like this, bro. Ever since Andrew Luck retired, it has been tough luck in Indy.
Tough fucking
Not
luck,
as bad
dude.
as the Broncos. We'll just add that.
Let's get over these week 9 games. Let's go over these week 9 games. We'll start with this Colts. Colts 3 points. Patriots 26 destroyed their ass. Okay, they lost to the Patriots. We had the Eagles taking out the Texans 29-17. The Lions taking out the Packers 15-9. What?
Dude, shitty game. I watched that game.
It was shitty.
Was it not fun?
It was not fun.
Pause before we glide past the Eagles real quick. I wanted to make a footnote of like I had an epiphany.
Undefeated still.
They're undefeated.
Wow.
But if you look at their entire record, I don't think they've played a playoff team.
They have not played very good. I looked at that earlier today
Yeah,
too.
they haven't.
They haven't played.
And, like,
a
okay,
They have an
great
easy
team.
schedule this year.
And like not trying to like constantly be a homer for the Chiefs, but to compare the undefeated them to the Chiefs that are 7-2. The Chiefs going into their first 8 weeks, they said had on paper the hardest first 8 weeks in NFL history because all of their first 8 opponents were not only playoff teams, but like were competing within their divisions type shit. So they went up against people who for sure are making the postseason and have lost 2 games. Ironically, one to the fucking Colts, but
Yeah.
So like the Eagles are my dark horse going into it, and I'm proud of them. But after I've recognized their schedule, I don't know what their ceiling is yet. I don't want to sit here and proclaim that they're the NFC's favorites because right now Minnesota looks fucking
Taking on the
dangerous.
Commanders this week too.
But the Eagles beat Minnesota. I mean,
It's pretty good.
yeah, but that's only 2 good
They're
teams.
taking on the
beat.
Colts week 11.
Yeah,
That's a tough fucking...
The Eagles just haven't played other than Minnesota. Like they haven't really played anybody.
the Giants and Minnesota, only 2 good teams.
And the Giants are playing really good, but we don't see them doing anything in the postseason.
No, they're not winning the Super Bowl.
So I'm not trying to belittle my dark horse that I've been gloating that I predicted would be so good, but like that once I recognized that schedule and I heard like a podcaster talking about it, I was just like, God damn, that's tough.
That is tough.
Yeah, but I mean, you know,
They're making
Don't
the
let
best of it.
Philadelphia know.
They are making the best of it. Don't take anything I'm saying away from your fucking undefeated ass streak. You just need to prove yourselves the next like time you play a playoff team.
Facts. All right, we had the Chargers taking out the Falcons 20-17.
Last minute.
The Jets beating the Bills 20-17.
Dude,
Did I hold on?
crazy.
Did I not call that
That
being
killed
a game?
so many parlays. That was a parlay killer right there.
I called that simply being a game. I didn't call the outcome. I'm not going to pretend I called the outcome. I remember last week I was like, that could be a game. Sauce Gardner and company, like that could be a game.
Yep, it was.
It was.
And you got, what's his name? Their fucking quarterback, like the Mormon homie. He's only throwing like,
Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. He's only throwing for like 135 yards and 1 touchdown. And
Yeah.
they're beating the number 1, like top 3 defense in the league.
So crazy.
The Jets defense is legit.
Dude, Sauce Gardner
legit
is
this year.
DPOY rookie for sure.
Yeah, defense rookie of the year, yeah.
Killing it, man. Who expected it?
He's like 6'4".
parlay killer. Did
looks
you win
like-
your parlay last week? You had a fat parlay last week.
Dude, we'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah.
Talk about it in a
sorry.
sec. All right, then we had Vikings taking out the Commanders 20-17. The Bengals destroying the Panthers 42-21. Joe Mixon breaking fucking records.
Shout out Joe Mixon.
5 total touchdowns. Shout out Joe Mixon. Me and Winston have him on our fucking fantasy teams.
Yes, sir.
Let's fucking go.
This fool had Fields and Mixon, the number 1 and 2
Fire.
scorers for the whole
Good
week
pickup.
last week.
Good pickup last week. I think
Yep.
Fields is going to do good this week too.
Fucking hope so.
I'm hoping, dude. I'm keeping him in. All right, we got the Jaguars taking out the Raiders 27-20. Tough fucking. Speaking of down bad teams, Raiders, man.
Dude, there's
Down bad this year, just like the Broncos.
Every time the Raiders have been up more than 2 possessions this entire year, they've lost.
So,
Every
dude,
single time.
So,
So
this
crazy.
is what ruined my parlay. So I had Miami Dolphins money line, Vikings money line, Raiders, Seahawks money line, under 42.5 points for Rams and Buccaneers, and then Ravens money line.
You hit all of those?
I hit all of those other than the Raiders plus 2,900. I bet $3. I was gonna win like $80, $87. Yeah,
The Raiders lost
I
out
was
for you.
fucking pissed, dude.
Hold on, if you
I
didn't,
was gonna ride that with you, and I forgot.
if you're not a Bronco fan or a Chiefs fan or any other AFC West fan, if you didn't need a reason to hate the Raiders more, Winnie just gave you one.
Dude.
What was the odd? Plus 2,000?
2,900.
Yeah, and all of these were close. Dolphins minus 196, Vikings minus 168, Raiders minus 136, Seahawks
That's
the underdog.
a nice parlay.
Yeah, and then the Ravens were minus 132. Like all of these were super
Come on, Raiders!
No,
Yeah,
you
dude.
Can, bro, you can take you can take the Raiders out of Chokeland, but you can't take the Chokeland out of the Raiders. Bro.
I'm fucking pissed, dude. Fucking, I was so sad, dog.
You mentioned the Dolphins. They beat the Bears out 35-32. Good game. Good game.
It was a good game.
Bird game. Seahawks, Cardinals 31-21. Seahawks taking the dub
Did
on
we
those
not?
guys.
Call of Duty came out. Did we not fucking call that?
Dude, this is why I traded Kyler Murray. This is why.
This isn't even
why.
this isn't even a joke.
COD came out.
Dude.
Double
Not a
XP
joke.
weekend. RIP fucking Arizona's odds.
Yikes. That's so funny. That's so funny to me. We had the Bucks taking out the Rams 16-13. Rams looking terrible.
The Bucks still look like ass.
Yeah, but they
Bucks still do look like they're still
somehow
getting
win.
wins.
Yeah, it's
They're
crazy.
getting wins, dude. Look at they're 4-5.
They're
Yeah, but
divisional.
I was about to be more excited. Yeah, I mean better than the 3-5 Rams.
Hey,
huh?
I saw a meme and it said it was a meme of Tom Brady, and this is true, and this is some real goat shit. I'm not even fronting.
Hold on,
It said-
before you get into that, Chiefs win Texans 20-17.
Titans.
Ravens beat Titans, I'm sorry. And then the Ravens beat the Saints 27-13.
So
Sorry, what were you saying?
I'll get to my Chiefs, but on some goat shit, Tom Brady is undefeated
Since getting
being
divorced.
Yeah.
This man,
Let's go, boys.
This man.
Not
Do you,
very
King?
easily.
Do you, King?
Because of the defense. The offense
is
hasn't
because
been
of the
doing
defense. Yeah,
shit,
the offense
The
is
bro.
funny part,
terrible.
I was watching that game and I was like, oh, this is trending to overtime. I like went to go like grab something. I come back and then next thing you know, they're in the fucking red zone. I'm like, huh? And then Brady throws that touchdown, and I was just like, all right,
Yeah.
good for you, dog. Like I ironically have Ryan Suckup on my bench when Harrison Butker went down. That was like it was a two-way street. I was like, do I want to use him because they're not going to score touchdowns? So point after ain't happening, but they get field goals.
They do get
Yeah.
field goals.
So it's been a it was,
Suckup's been doing pretty good this
it was
year.
fruitful. He's also a former Chief. Shout out Ryan Suckup. But like, Brady and company don't look prepared to win in the postseason, if you ask me.
Fuck no.
Fuck no. They ain't making the fucking Super Bowl.
And they're still super duper talented. Their defense is still like top 3.
What would you
top
do?
5.
They do get to the Super Bowl and it's just all fucking shitty games like this, 16-13,
I mean,
fucking.
we're like halfway through the season, bro. Like they can figure shit out. You know what I mean? Their defense is solid. Like they can figure out their offense, and then it's like, oh, whoa,
do
they're the
pretty
best
good.
team in the league type shit. You know
Don't
what I
they
mean?
have
That'd be crazy.
Don't they have Todd Bowles as their D coordinator?
Yeah, he's
Isn't
really
he a
good.
former Bronco coach or something?
No, I don't think so.
Or was Todd Bowles with the Jets?
Todd Bowles with the Jets.
There
yes.
you go. That's what I remember. That's what I remember.
He's a good
The
coach.
dude
I
who
like
got
him.
fired for no fucking reason.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, besides the whole Tom Brady scenario, getting back to my Chiefs, that game was such a fucking nail biter for the entire second half. I want to give my
You barely won us our parlay,
Dude,
man.
dude,
you were the
barely.
last
Hold on,
leg of
you
our
got-
parlay, and you won by 3 fucking points.
you got to give, and like I'm not even trying to like. Granted, it's Malik Willis, but they have Derrick Henry on the field at all times. Like this man is fucking dangerous. But
He was running too. He was running good.
in the entire second half and overtime, the defense allowed 1 first down and 10 yards of total offense.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were heavy favorites, bro. You guys are like
We should-
minus 600. Like y'all should have killed their ass.
But okay, the reason I wanted
Facts.
to put a big emphasis on this, not only did our defense show up, but like this is another clear-cut example of why Mahomes is just that dude. Like he refused to lose.
you guys scored like 17 points. What do you mean?
Bro,
Yeah,
the last
bro.
drive he
Come on,
had
dude.
two drives where it was like 3rd and 17. He gets like a
Bro.
23-yard
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
He led the team in rushing.
Bro,
Yeah,
you guys,
he
hold on. You guys got 3 points in the first quarter, 6 points in the second, 0 points in the third, and 8 points in the fourth. 3 points in overtime.
And Mahomes had fucking like 469-yard passing.
Did he? Let's
Yeah.
see.
Really?
Yeah, look it
Let's
up.
see,
wow.
let's see,
Look
let's
it
see,
up.
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, and
How
he's
come you
Mahomes.
guys? Oh, he threw like
446.
2 picks,
446.
Okay, I was close. He's the only.
One touchdown, one interception, 446 yards. Pretty impressive.
You want to know the only dude to rush for that many yards and throw that
43
many
and
yards?
43 out of 68.
And
Pretty good.
the most
Pretty good.
the most throws in a game in NFL history is 70, and he did 68. And when you ask around the league, does it look like that's too much work for Mahomes? Sure, that's not pleasant to see him do that week in and week out.
Yeah.
he looked competent the whole
Let's talk
time.
about your
he was
running.
good.
Let's talk about your running game though. Isaiah Pacheco 5 yards. Edwards-Helaire 5 yards. Jarrett McKinnon 4 yards. Michael
Mahomes?
Burton 0 yards.
Look at
Mahomes 63. And a
Yeah.
touchdown.
And that's why I said Mahomes is that dude. He refused to lose. In plays when no one was open, he got it with his feet. You don't throw for 400 plus yards and scramble for like 50 and win the game And like, just I agree, we should have got way more touchdowns. It is what it is. But like that last drive where we had to tie it up to force overtime, not only Mahomes scramble for the touchdown, we had that 2-point scenario where we got to run it back 3 times because of fucking defensive holding over and over. And the play that he ultimately got in on, they didn't even necessarily call it because it didn't matter. Kelsey got thrown to the ground. Like you can't just throw him to the ground in the middle of the play.
Yeah, but he also like took that one guy's helmet off. Remember that in the 2-point conversion? He like pushed him and they like pushed the guy's helmet off, and they called it on the defense.
Yeah,
instead of the offense.
All I'm saying is that like Mahomes refused to lose.
Yeah,
and it showed.
How did you guys only have like 17 points when he had that many yards? How many?
That's crazy.
I know you had one pick with Mahomes, but did you guys fumble a lot or what?
We had one pick, and it was the pick where he threw it to Kelsey over the shoulder. Kelsey tip drilled it with his hand.
Yeah, that was the only turnover.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys just missed field goals or just went for it on 4th down? What happened?
We missed a field goal and a point after.
Okay.
No.
So that's just a lot of yards with not that many points.
446 yards.
But when you leave, if you leave 4 points on the board, there's no overtime.
True, but just not that many points.
This is the Titans that shit the bed in the first quarter, 0 points. Shit the bed in the fourth quarter, 0 points, and then 0 points in overtime.
And they had like a pick,
Titans shit the bed.
not a pick 6, but they had something where they returned it. Their offense didn't score one of those.
Derrick
touchdowns,
Henry had
I
2
believe,
touchdowns.
Right? No, he must have then. I don't know. It was a close-ass game, though.
Derrick Henry, like, again, I had played him, which is always bittersweet, watching a player going against the team you root for in fantasy. But he's, like, I would never play a defense. Like, when the Chiefs played the Bills, I got a different defense. Not only because that's a bad matchup for the defense, but because I don't want to benefit from, like, my team's mistakes in fantasy.
Listen to this right here. So we have the Tennessee Titans, 17 points. Kansas City Chiefs, 20 points. First downs, Tennessee Titans, 9. First downs, Kansas City Chiefs, 29.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's insane that it was that close of a game.
So it
shit.
shows that we're not the same.
Total plays, 91 Chiefs. Total plays, Titans, 48.
So in time of possession and all that. So like I said, like it shows that without Tyreek, we're not as capable of the 45-yard down the play bomb that would just come out of nowhere.
You guys almost doubled their possession time.
So like
too.
that is a noticeable thing that we can look at and say like, all right, yeah, we're like, given those circumstances, that like it's showing a difference. But the key difference being is like right now Mahomes is on pace for like I think 5,400 yards and like 45 touchdowns, and we're like 10 weeks into the league. This isn't like week 4 projections times 4 type shit, you know. So he's proving that like his numbers are not like going down. He has like right now compared to last year. Not only is like this time last year the team was like 4-4 going out of the bye week or some shit, and we're 7-2 right now. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
We're playing as a team. We're winning more. Mahomes has more yards this time than he did last year, and he has more touchdowns. So I think it's going to show that Mahomes is just too good. Andy Reid is just too smart. That organization has fucking Travis Kelce. They're way too well equipped to like just recess like everyone anticipated that we would. And right now we're tied for AFC champions. Like,
I mean, I think
we're a half game behind the Bills because they beat us.
I think Ryan Tannehill, if he plays,
we
lose that game.
We lose that game.
Yeah, but I mean,
maybe
who's to say? They're really conservative with Malik Willis as their quarterback. Who's to say they're not? Less conservative and they throw a pick.
That's exactly what I was.
Yeah,
gonna say.
Malik Willis did not do good. 5 for 16, 80 yards, but 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
And the thing about the Chiefs defense, Steve Spagnuolo is like he likes throwing blitz packages, like 3-man blitz packages, whatever. And then towards the second half, he was blitzing a lot. And that's why we saw Malik Willis was looking for ghosts and getting sacked like consecutively to end the game. So, and another thing about the Chiefs defense is a Spagnuolo defense doesn't always look great on paper. But one thing he's shown from year to year is seasonal improvement. In the second half of the season and every season, he's pretty much had like last year coming out of the bye week, we had the greatest defense in the league for like 4 weeks. We were averaging 11 points allowed.
Fucking A, dude.
That's what matters.
Doing the damn thing.
He figures it out. We synergize towards the end of the season. That's how Spagnuolo does it.
Yep, and he's won multiple Super Bowls.
He's won 2 different organizations.
All right, let's get on to week 10. We'll just go over who's who and the only game that's been. So we had the Falcons losing to the Panthers 25-15, the first game of the week.
I played Mariota. Shout out Joe Burrow on his bye week. I got 17 for Mariota. I'm happy.
Take it. Take that shit. All right. Let's just go over these games real fast. Make our parlay. Get the fuck out of here. Seahawks taking on the Bucks. We have the Lions taking on the Bears. The Browns taking on the Dolphins. The Broncos back from a bye week taking on the Titans. Oof. The Vikings taking on the Bills. The Texans taking on the Giants. The Jaguars taking on the Chiefs. The Saints taking on the Steelers. The Colts taking on the Raiders. The Cardinals taking on the Rams. Cowboys taking on the Packers. Chargers taking on the 49ers. And the Commanders taking on the Eagles on Monday. That is your Week 10. Winston, any notable odds over there?
So I mean, Chiefs minus 460. I see the Chiefs winning.
Thank you.
We got Bears. I probably have them beating the Lions.
I could see that. Especially if Justin Fields does what he does.
Exactly.
What he has been doing.
Bills minus 158 against the Vikings.
Wow.
There's some rumblings on if Josh Allen, I think he's going to play, but his elbow's fucked up.
And this is a 7-1 Vikings team.
And I think I read that he bruised one of his ligaments in his knee.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting
Not
banged up.
tore,
Getting banged up pretty hard, man.
Well, I don't know if the ligament bruised, but they said that he had like a UCL, if I'm not mistaken, like scan or some shit.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, Bills minus 158. Titans minus 146 against the Broncos. Broncos plus 124. I'm kind of surprised by that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised too.
Raiders favored minus 215 against the Colts.
Wow.
And 49ers minus 335 against the Chargers. Chargers plus
What the
270. I mean,
They're not doing good.
Chargers have been shit in the bed, but
I mean, they're 5-3.
But their receivers are all banged
They have a
up.
better record than the 49ers.
the receivers are all
Like
banged
Keenan
up.
Allen's
Yeah, they
banged
are.
up. Mike Williams is banged up.
They only have Palmer. They literally only have Palmer.
He's throwing it to
So-
dudes whose names I've never heard of because they just got drafted. Like,
Yeah. Eagles minus 520. That's a
Wow.
huge.
Who are the Eagles playing?
The Commanders.
They
Commanders aren't
I don't
doing good
see
this
them
year.
losing.
I mean, that's
4-5.
in division.
But that is a trap game.
Exactly. That's in division. I might put some money on the Commanders.
I low-key would.
Really? Why? What's the odds?
It's a plus 400 for the Commanders.
Whoa.
It's in division, bro. Like literally, like the Raiders could be shit in the bed all year and then go against the Chiefs that are like almost undefeated.
fucking beat 'em.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just because it's a divisional game, you're like fuck these guys. Like we want to beat them.
The Commanders really want the dub against
That's
the
a
Eagles.
trap game if I've ever seen
I
one.
just put $2 on them.
Nice. What does that come out to?
$8. Yeah.
No, it's not that bad. Not that bad at all. Those are your games. Now I think we should make our parlay, boys.
Yo.
Y'all already remember mine.
I don't. What is it?
Michael Chandler gonna win.
Oh, you got Michael Chandler money line. Let me pull up my DraftKings. Gotta pull it up.
I think I'm gonna go under for the Broncos Titans game. The Titans,
really?
The Titans shut down the run against the Chiefs, and so I think they're gonna shut down the run against the Broncos. The Broncos are gonna have to beat them in the air.
Yeah, we have a shittier run game than them.
Yeah, and we're gonna.
Latavius Murray though.
Yeah, but I mean, we're gonna have to beat them in the air, and I don't know if we can do it.
Without being sarcastic, does Russ cook?
Yeah,
If y'all can get over the 7 or like the 16 point a game hump, y'all can win games.
Yeah.
Your defense is proven. That's not even. I don't think you lose because your defense shits the bed. I think y'all lose because you just simply aren't capable of keeping up offensively.
I mean, our run defense is good, but it's not as good as our pass offense. We don't have Bradley Chubb. We traded him, and so Derrick Henry's a beast. Josh Jacobs dropped like 150 rushing yards on us.
Yeah.
So
he's on a contract year though. That's a man possessed.
It's true, but
So what are you picking up?
I'm picking under 38.5 points for the Broncos Titans game.
Easy. That's
Under 39? Mine's
yeah.
under 39.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Minus 110.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's like 20 points and 19 points. So I don't
I can see
see
that.
I don't see 21-21.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
Okay. Picking that up, that is a minus 110 on that. Oh, Dave, your pick of Michael Chandler. Let's put that up real quick.
if that fucks the parlay odds, I have other
No,
parlays. we
it's
could do.
not.
No, I
These
mean,
are going to be so
Great.
close.
Yeah, they're going to be great
This
odds.
is going to be a really
'Cause
good odds.
Mine's minus 105, I think, and yours is plus.
You're picking a Michael Chandler a plus 180.
Yeah. So
That
like,
brings our parlay to plus 434.
Yeah,
I can literally pick the biggest favorite in the world. It's not going to hurt us. And I might do that. I might pick one Weili Zhang.
do that Weili Zhang either or Carla whatever.
Esparza.
By points or submission.
I might pick up Andre Petrosky
Okay.
because I kind of think he's going to win too.
Do it up.
Hold on. I kind of want to for sure dub. You know what I'm saying? I want...
Is there any
See how
football
this is
games you want to
looking.
bet on?
I think I'm going to pick up Carla Esparza, Weili Zhang over 1.5, minus 310, bringing our parlay to plus 606. So we need Carla Esparza and Weili Zhang to go over
2 rounds.
1.5 rounds.
Yeah.
1.5. I need it to go over 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the second round.
True.
And I can see that happening.
So we need at least 8 minutes of fighting, and you get your, we win that parlay.
Exactly. So I have a minus 310 pick of over 1.5 rounds for Carla Esparza and Weili Zhang. Then we have a Michael Chandler moneyline pickup plus 180. Then we have an under 39 or under 38.5 for the Denver Broncos and Tennessee Titans game for points. If you place $10 on this bet, you win $70.69.
Damn.
Excuse me. This is a plus 606 parlay, man. I'm going to do that. Maybe not 10. I'll probably throw a hot 5 on it, though. You know what I'm saying? If you bet $5 on it, you win $35.34. It's pretty good. It's pretty fucking good, man.
So a bet that I just saw that I just put $10 on is Izzy or Dustin Poirier to each win by either TKO or on points plus 250.
That's a good fucking bet.
I put $10 to win.
You're going against your mans here, though.
No, it's basically saying that they're not going to win by submission. Either of them will win by submission.
No, but I'm saying you're going against your mans here, Michael Chandler.
Yeah, I'm betting that.
Oh, they both have to win. Fuck. I thought they were going against each other. God damn it.
Honestly, I think Dustin's going to win this fight, though. So, I mean, you know.
Got you.
Dave's like, fuck you. But, Dustin Poirier. But all right, man, let's get the fuck out of here. You guys heard our parlay bet. You guys heard our 2 cents on UFC 281. You guys heard our 2 cents on week 10 of the NFL. Do you guys have anything else to share on here?
Shout out the Astros for winning the World Series.
Shout out the Astros.
Mattress Mac.
Another sport champ.
Mattress Mac placed a $10 million bet on the outcome of that World Series, and he won $75 million. It's the largest recorded bet
What
ever
the
won.
fuck?
Yeah.
Even though the Astros cheat, it seems like they won this one without cheating. So,
Still a sport champ.
yeah, still a sport champ.
Have a good night, y'all. Yo, enjoy the fights. Let's talk about the fights. And, if you're watching after the fights, I hope you enjoyed them. Peace.